Hello, everyone, and welcome to Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl at Chaotic Neutral Games. I'm Simon, your DM for tonight, as we join Paul, Felicia, Ed, and Corinne with their adventures at the fringe of Imperial space. Don't forget that you can help or indeed hinder by using your channel points in the game. Check out the options in the chat bar. You can also join the chaos by clicking the Discord link below, or vote towards the session twist by becoming a subscriber. So let's rejoin the players for their continuing mission, High Alert, as we go back a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
That is simply mar.
And
we're back!
Oh, give us a warning.
I was about to. I forgot because I just.
Producer.
Let's. I was watching the thing intently. I was like, okay, I need to click this. And then I forgot to tell everybody.
Yep. That's kind of right. Okay, so hello everybody.
Hello.
When we left off last session, you guys had managed to make good headway through the cube. I didn't have to use any of my little tactics to stop you doing 20 sessions in the cube, because I made it kind of big and I got kind of worried that might happen.
I mean, if you let us, we probably would.
It's okay. Every floor was basically just ravening hordes of people that you'd have to run away from. So,
ooh.
Why
didn't it tell us? So, Hermit just subbed, but it didn't tell us and didn't alert us. So that's strange. But thank you for the sub, Hermit.
Thank you for the sub. Yeah, weirdly it didn't turn up on the activity feed.
Yeah, because it let me and Felicia's go through. But thank you to me and Felicia for subbing to the channel.
Thank you, Hermit, as well. Yeah. So when we left off last time, you guys had managed to make it through the cube, a celebrity retreat in deep space, where celebrities can go far away from the eyes of the equivalent of the paparazzi, to be able to indulge in, well, frankly, whatever they want. The people that run the cube are somewhat indulgent in that respect. You got in through a cattle entrance. Bit of a strange part of the design, being that they want fresh meat, not even frozen, coming in to the space station. You went through the main storage rooms and worked your way up through the kitchens, the power plant, managed to catch somebody who was about to be thrown into the waste disposal incineration unit. You also managed to, how did you knock her out? The Meridian. That
I went in there alone.
Yes.
With my.
Also, stun blast.
Yeah, you stunned the ever-living fuck out of her like 3 times over or something.
I think it was 33 stun damage in total.
Yeah. She's not waking up anytime soon. I don't think she'll feel her toes for the rest of the year. So you managed to collect up a bunch of people. A Nemoidian croupier, a Meridian Is it Merid?
I don't think it's Meridian, because that's
Marillion.
your...
Marillion. Yep, sorry, that's my D&D game that's popping up there. Yeah, I've just brought it up. It's a Marillion. Anyway, I'm using that race ever again. Sex worker. You got a couple of other people that got dragged down by your loyal retinue of pit droids, and then you made it up to the floor where Lias Gran can be found. You managed to get a detox inhaler from which one was it? It was the croupier, the Nemoidian croupier. And you went up to where some of the more successful celebrities have their kind of chalets. You got shot at by a Chevan called Shik Pulbes, a very powerful person in the galaxy, a powerful self-made trader, quasi-legal, who was blasting at you with a light repeating blaster, but you managed to glue him to his chair with a glue grenade. So after that, you faced off against a familiar-looking battle droid, a super battle droid called Bishop, and you managed to successfully deactivate Bishop, who was stating a warning to you with a restraining bolt in its head. You managed to, through team tactics, get Victoria up to Bishop, who neatly ripped the bolt off his head, being strong enough to rip off the welding that was done to it. So Bishop is currently rebooting due to a very powerful ion blast that brought it to its knees. And you are now in the chalet apartment, call it what you will, of Lias Gran, who is a Doug, who I don't think I need to bring up a picture of a Doug. You guys know Sebulba. And you open the door to the apartment. The apartment is in disarray, but that's nothing new. Certainly Chevron knows that. And you can see that there doesn't seem to be anything out of place, apart from one of the doors has effectively been barricaded by a lot of random tat. So that's where you all are, stood at the door to Lias Gran's apartment. What would you like to do?
I think basically scanning around and seeing the locked door, I will tentatively approach and call out to Lias, basically being like, Lias, it's Chevron here. Whatever you've got in there, don't shoot, and sort of try and then open the door up.
You are suddenly startled to hear a clattering nearby. You can't quite tell if it's in the ceiling or the wall, as what seems to be a creature in an air duct is what it sounds like. But you hear no reply. But it does seem to happen the second that you talk.
I'm going to train my gun on it no matter what.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Anyone or just?
Well, no, JT, because JT was tracking.
Yeah.
Any diff?
Yeah, diff on this is going to be quite hard actually, because as I say, it sounds like it's coming from all around you. Diff 4.
And this isn't visual, is it?
No, it's sound based.
Ah, complete wash.
Yeah, you can't lock. It's bouncing off everything. It seems to be coming out of vents and things that are nearby, but there seems to be something in the ducting to this part.
I will just stand ready then.
Okay, well, if no one's going to stop me, I'm going to try the door and see what happens.
I mean...
So this is the barricaded door, yeah?
Yeah, let's just give it a...
Okay, the door is actually part open. It's just that there's a lot of stuff that's been piled against it.
Oh, so it won't open inwards, basically?
Yeah, it's there's stuff that's just pressed against it.
Okay, so we can't force it.
Well,
I will bang on it and shout out for Lars, basically.
While this is happening, can I essentially do a perception check using the force to see if I can sense any life forms.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. The diff is still going to be 4.
Mm-hmm. 'Tis fine.
I also need to know what you get on your force dice.
It's not. You don't add the force dice. I have.
Oh, you get bonuses.
I get bonus dice for it. I can add I can add a force dice if you want me to.
No, you roll. You roll that,
Yeah.
and I may roll something.
A triumph.
In that case, I'm not rolling anything. So it's a triumph without a success.
Yes. Triumph
Okay.
without success.
You cannot focus on where this creature is, okay? Because that was the intended action.
Yeah.
So the intended action fails. However, the triumph that you get is that you can feel the dark side of the Force very, very close.
I can feel the dark side. Stress.
All the better reason to be done with this place. And
I got my gun out.
Sure. Yep. No answer from inside the room.
all right, I will look around and sort of look at Victoria. With a little help, please.
Yeah, just move a little to the side. And I proceed to rip up the door or push it open, depending on which way it goes.
Sure. I'm going to do a thing that I used to use in World of Darkness and a couple of other games. And do a thing called point reference. With your strength, this is not a challenge. Yeah. And you guys watch as over about a minute and a half, whilst this is happening, the clattering stops completely. And Victoria systematically rips out the barricade.
I am being super vigilant and I'm trying to keep focus off the force around me and trying to pinpoint where this dark side of the force is coming from. If it seems like it's coming from in the general direction of where the clattering was, or if it's like around.
It's kind of just in this vicinity.
Yeah.
If you could imagine a big red cloud all around you, it's kind of like that, but it's strongest closest to this room.
Right. Right.
As the last of the boxes gets unceremoniously yeeted out of the doorway, you can see that beyond is a bedroom, quite large, silk sheets, round. I had it here. Octagonal bed with silk sheets. By the looks of some of the underwear on the floor, this is clearly Elias Grand's bedroom, and he's had company recently. Not recently in the last since he called you, but yeah. Put it this way: you know it's his bedroom. It's the Star's bedroom, and you can see that a lot of the stuff that's been piled up has been piled up by Elias himself. There's a lot of drag marks and things like that show that a Doug was lifting it. Doug's not great at lifting because of the small set of arms that they have, but pretty good at dragging. And you can see from some of the stuff that Victoria has ripped out of the doorway, he used some sort of energy weapon to weld some of these cases together, which is why it was difficult. But the welds were rudimentary at best, and with a couple of hoists, because she had the time to do so, she wasn't pressured by anything. Victoria was able to just rip it apart. If you were being pursued by anything, which thankfully you've done all the different challenges on the way here to make sure you weren't, then it would have been a set of rolls. So yeah, you are. You can see that you're in the room, and then in the corner, you can see a vent has been ripped off the wall and thrown to one side. By the looks of the foils in the vent, it's been ripped off by a Doug hand.
Lias!
Liars, you phoned us. It's Chevron.
There's
Get you out.
There's a skittering, and now that you're closer to the vent, a hyperventilating.
Okay. Well, shit. Hopefully he's not gone feral like the rest of them.
Can I attempt to reach out with a force and essentially calm him down? Using
yes,
emotions?
you've got alter emotions, haven't you? So, yes, you think that you can.
Okay, I will attempt. I need light side points for this. I can't use dark side points for it. I just need straight light side. Yeah. So, hopefully... Let's see. Nope.
You feel the dark side, whatever the presence of the dark side around you is, and I presume that you reject it.
Well, I can't use it, so yes.
Yes, because you already said your intended action was positive. So the dark side around you is just negating all of that.
Yeah. Can't. It's too much interference. I can't calm him down. Okay, I'll try talking.
You want me to shoot him?
No.
Let's give it a minute at least. I'll just try and put the sweetest, nicest tone and be like, liars, we're your friends, we've come to help you, we're not going to hurt you. You phoned us, do you remember? You called us, you wanted us to come get you out of here. So if you come out, we can make this all better. It'll all go away.
You can hear like a snuffling, like a dog or maybe a pig snuffling for truffles. You have a feeling that whoever is in the vent has somewhat got closer and is being a bit inquisitive, but they do seem to be far away.
Yeah. Liars, you, as Sharon said, you called us. We're here to help. We're here to get you away from this. We're out to get you away from the station. Back to your ship.
Is there any sign of Lias's stash in the room still?
There are various bits of drug paraphernalia that are thrown about the place, but most of them used. Now that you have inspected the room, and those weren't exactly requiring an investigate check, I want you to make me either a knowledge underworld or a streetwise check, please.
We're streetwise because...
Maybe we can slide him the detox thing to inhale.
Diff isn't that difficult. Diff 2.
Oh no. I mean, not, Okay.
You're not going to get the thing I was going to give you, but if he's taken even a small fraction of these recently, he's going to be tripping balls. He's going to be absolutely gone.
Okay. The other option then, I guess. Well, again, I was hoping to find some liar's bait, but I think I have some to hand anyway. So I guess I will grab. Well, what do we think, people? Glitter stim or the energy bars? The go-go bars.
You know better than me, Charbon. I don't touch that stuff.
To a Doug. Okay. This is Paul asking rather than right, Sherman were like, fine then, the personal stuff it is, and I'll get one of the glitter stims and put it within about 30-40 centimeters of the vent, and be like, Lars, this will help calm you down. It won't at all.
I mean, we could give him we can give him the detox thing.
It's in the vent still. Phase 1, extract the Doug from the vent.
Yes.
Victoria, be ready to just eyes on Victoria.
You're muted, Felicia.
Oh, I'll grab him if he comes out.
Yes.
Sure. I'll consider that you're kind of stood by the wall, so the second that anything pokes its head out, you grab it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear slightly closer this kind of snuffling, this kind of. Is any of you going to be in a position where you can be seen on the from the inside of the vent, or looking in?
I mean, I would have been. I was not intending to hide myself when placing this. Again, I'm putting this thing only like a foot away from the grate, so I'm going to very, walk up, put it down. I'm not trying to hide. I'm trying to be passive, friendly body language.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm here to help.
So you're being seen, but you're away.
Yeah, I'm not going to walk up to the vent. I'm going to walk to about about a meter away, and then put it down on the floor. In the assumption that he'll reach out, and then, well, that's the hope anyway.
Okay. Just you then. Give me give me a perception check.
Okay.
Diff is 3 because you're looking into this tight, dark vent. And the perception check has 1 effect if you pass with successes and failures, and a second one if you pass with advantages and failures.
Okay, so diff 3
You
perception
mean
check,
successes and advantages, and one with successes and...
So there you go.
Okay, so you can't see the figure inside. Okay, the figure inside skitters up so far and then stops. And all you can see is the suggestion of eyes. You don't even make out any details of the eyes, but the suggestion of eyes. And you do, however, catch with those advantages. And I kind of scaled it to how much you'd be able to hear. You do hear the word, the snuffling suddenly has a slight change to it. The snuffling goes...
Well, at least he knows it's you.
Well, he was holding off the Emerald Road. Perhaps it's got the better of him. I'm waving the dart gun about as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not come down after we give him the detox, then yes, dart him. But
well, the detox wasn't going to work on Emerald Road at all, was it? That would just take everything else out of his system.
I wasn't. When he was talking to us, he said that he hasn't been aggressive, so he'd done something. But yeah.
I'll remind you that the detox will get rid of everything else in his system.
Yes.
The Emerald Road isn't the problem. It's when you come down off it. Yeah. The way that it works is that if you stay high on that stuff, it's wonderful. It's great. It's when you come down off it. The reason why the coming down doesn't hurt is that afterwards, after you've come down, your brain starts to kick after that.
So, a question then. So, didn't you say we saw vents and everything else in the other room? Or did we see any ventilation holes, as it were, in the other room?
Yeah. There was a few.
There's a few. Oh, actually, we're in the. Okay. Any more in this room at all as well? Basically, I'm trying to find the nearest hole I think would lead to this vent. It's not the one that we're sort of all staring at right now.
Yeah, the nearest one would be probably on the other side of the door.
Okay.
The barricade door, you just go around the corner from that. There's some nasty looking turns in it. You wouldn't fancy your chances at your side.
I don't need to go in. I just need to know where there's a hole that I could put something in. So I'll basically point at Victoria and basically point at all the rest of them, basically just eyes on with the universal sign language. Hop outside and then throw my smoke grenade in the other vent. Intention, flush the blighter out.
Sure. Let me just do a what I'm assuming is going to be an obvious roll. Yep. Okay. I would like. Let's make it an initiative check. It's going to be
basically I'm just lobbing the thing in the general direction of not too hard. I don't want to catch it.
Yeah, Victoria and JT. I would like you to do a quick roll off, a quick initiative check. I'm not going to be rolling initiative. I'm going to be rolling something else, but I want you to do an initiative check. It's 2 to beat. JT coming in. So, and this isn't reassignable here. Actually, no, this isn't reassignable. So this is what happens. Victoria, you're fast. The crazed creature that smells awful that barrels out of this slips through your hands with a body that is slick with sweat. At least you're hoping it's sweat. It is somewhat slimy. However, JT, it's moving in slow motion compared to you. You're pretty sure you can dart this thing if you wanted to.
Would I have time to grab slap cuffs instead?
Yes. With 4 successes over 2, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
You'd have to drop your gun, but yes, you could do it.
Yeah, I don't mind dropping the target and
Yeah.
grab slap cuffs and just try and get it around ankles or wrists. I can't tell with a dog usually.
Big ones, the big limbs, basically. Yeah.
The ones that... Yeah.
Give me a melee or brawl. I don't mind which. Melee or brawl, div 2.
Oh wait, you're strong now.
No, I'm not. I put those points in agility. I'm not terrible.
There we go.
Say!
So
Could be
you
worse.
you do get attacked, but you do succeed. Basically, this thing is scraping at you, screaming. It's like a banshee's wail as you manage to get the cuffs around his 2 larger arms, because dogs have 4 arms. And so let's have a go at this. It would be a brawl attack, crazed.
And you have a bit of defense, don't you?
Oh, you have defense as well, yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it would only get worse from here. He's just scraping against the bodywork, but doesn't even manage to get any decent paint off. You've all met him, apart from Victoria, I think.
Yeah, Victoria hasn't met him.
Although Victoria will probably have seen him in the various gigs that he's done, because I'm sure that Chevron would have had like posters and things like that of his mate given to him. This is quite clearly Lias Grand, but there's some differences. First of all, his teeth seem to have elongated. He has he had a little bit of would it be an overbite or an underbite?
Overbite, I think, is it like that?
He had a little bit of an overbite before. Now he has both an overbite and an underbite, and his teeth are like sharpened, curved, almost shark-like teeth. His eyes are you don't know whether they're popping out or they're just larger, but he's got these wild eyes. You can see that he seems to be a bit more muscular, and there seem to be spurs coming out of his skin at his major joints, mostly at the elbows. But looking at the clothes, looking at the face, it's him. It's Lias Grant. And when you put the slap cuffs on him, he does try to use his smaller set of arms to pull himself around. But with those 2 just stuck together, you can just hold the cuffs and he'll just flounder about underneath you. And he's screaming and rolling around.
Do you want me to dart him?
Well, try and get him to... Do we want to detox him?
No, because then if it's not already got him, Emerald Road will have him then.
Right. Can I attempt another... Now when I can see him, can I attempt another of trying to calm him down?
Yeah, I'll allow one more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it charm you're using for this?
No, it's force.
This is a straight force check.
Straight force check. So I just need a light side point, but I'm rolling. Thankfully, I'm rolling 2 dice, but it's not gone very well so far.
And you get to choose which of the dots you use.
Hey!
Wow, complete turnabout.
Yeah.
Now that you can see him, and a sudden pang of sympathy and concern for Lias, who's always been kind to you, starts to roll out of you. You're able to draw the light side of the force to you. And you can tell that the dark side of the force is coming out of Lias. You step forward and not caring for the fact that he might lash out at you, he has got this quite lengthy mouth that's quite predatory. You walk straight up, completely guided by the force, and you put your hand on his forehead.
Yeah.
And with a snorting, he suddenly goes into a hyperventilating catatonic state.
Yes. It's just calm. Laius?
He's calm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you're going to get much use out of him, to be honest.
His eyes do seem to recede back into his head a little way. He still has the wide-eyed, panicked, death fear of a small creature kind of thing, you know, the prey eyes. But he, at this point now, is just transfixed on Nima.
Now that he's a little calmer, I'm going to cuff his other hands.
Sure. He struggles a little bit, but the fight has gone out of him. He's no longer feral. He's more, as I say, catatonic. His eyes will kind of dart back and forth to you all, but mostly all he'll do is just hyperventilate.
Let's carry him with us down. We should grab the other one and head out, I think. No need to stay longer than we need to.
Well, we need to get Lars back to the ship as soon as possible. He clearly needs medical attention at this point.
Yeah.
Although,
we need to get him to a geezer and
but you think this is the Force doing this, Nima?
Yes, I'm sensing the dark side seems to be coming from him. I don't know if that's from the Emerald Road.
Use the drug with it, if it's possible. I mean,
I don't know.
Sages have been doing weird stuff with the Force for generations, but like that's all religion.
Nima, roll the Force.
I don't do that.
Who's rolling the Force?
You.
Same Felicia.
Nima. My Force dice, so 2 Force dice, or just 1?
Yep, your Force rating. Yeah, that's fine.
That is more light than dark.
Yep.
Well, no, they don't cancel each other out. The Force dice, if you have the light side, you can use them. If you get the dark side, you can use them, but it takes 1 strain per dark side that you use.
Yeah.
And depending on the ability that you use, the dark side can flavor the outcome.
Yeah.
So it's a bit risky using any dark side points.
Yeah.
Nima, when Victoria makes the suggestion, you suddenly get an inspiration by the Force as it guides you, as it passes through you, through Victoria, through all those around you, and also to Laius Gran. Laius Gran is currently in certainly a crazed state, but he's in a crazed state resisting whatever the hell is happening to him. He's refusing for it to dominate his being, his identity. You know that he may be egotistical, performer, and all the rest of it, but one thing nobody could ever say he has is a lack of strength of character. He's pushing against it all now, as rebellious as he was against anything else. He's done songs rebelling against the Empire, against, in some cases, the Alliance, against anybody who would kind of try to come down on anybody's personal freedoms. And he's doing that now. The reason why you can feel the dark side of the Force all around you is that it's trying to permeate him and refusing to do so. And he's refusing to let it do so. You're detecting the dark side of the Force all around you because it's trying to soak into him, and he is just screaming and pushing it back out.
I understand what's happening. Or I think so. I think that there's some sort of... The dark side of the Force is trying to get to him, and he's resisting it. So... And it's causing him a lot of pain resisting it, and it's caused him to... It's why he's so gone at the moment. All his energy is focusing on resisting this. But
so, should we knock him out or not?
Give everybody, give me a medical check. Diff 2.
Well, try.
Might get lucky, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Hey!
Nah.
We're the smart party.
We got JT with us. Not JT, X4 is with us.
X4 is with you, but X4 is currently busy. I'm going to keep it player characters for now. He's not really paying that much attention. He is not a medical droid. He is an astromech.
Yes, but he's intelligence of 4.
Yeah, I know. Just because you know it's based off the intelligence stat doesn't mean he's not going to notice this because of his life experiences. Nima,
gotta win.
Yeah.
You got the success.
Yeah.
You can see Lias Grand probably hasn't slept since the phone call.
I don't think he has slept at all. I don't think that if he's resisting it, if he goes to sleep, the Force is weird. It can go into your dreams. It can flavor when you're knocked out. It can.
And Chevron, now that Nima has said this, you look around you and you notice that every single drug that seems to have been used keeps you awake. This guy's been on an upper for probably about a week.
Hey. Right.
So,
Let's get him back.
We need to keep him going that bit longer, and screw it. This seems a good idea. I'm going to do it because it seems like a good idea to me, and I'm not going to think about it too much. And I will. I will. So offer. Actually, let's see. Hold one of the. Now he's a bit calmer. Hold one of the glitter stims out in front of him.
This one is a glitter stim patch. He tries to nut it. If you peel, you're pretty sure that if you peel off the adhesive side, he will accept it.
Okay, so I will then dose him up one more, because screw it, keep him trucking for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
As it hits, you know this takes a short while to soaking and start. There's a gimlet-eyed look that you can almost see as being grateful. And
He's
two
gonna come
things
down
happen.
so hard.
First of all, he starts to his head starts to thrash from side to side as he rolls backwards and forwards, still held by the two larger feet by JT's slap cuff. And as he does so, a piece of paper falls out of his pocket.
Ooh. I look at the paper and also, yes, he's avoiding sleep as if Freddy Krueger was a Sith Force ghost.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He will remark, though, what does that mean for the ones that we've tranked?
I don't know. I didn't... At that point, I didn't feel... Did I feel the dark side of Force of the other ones, or was that not as permanent?
No, but you typically can't feel the dark side of the Force in each person.
Yeah.
It's only when dark side powers are being used that you can typically feel it. In this case, because somehow the dark side of the Force was kind of being soaked into this, was trying to permeate inside this person, and he was resisting. You could feel it like an aura around him. The second thing that happens as you're picking up the paper is that Lias takes a look at Chevron's pocket, and sticking out of it is a bar of Nutripack Yellow.
Oh yeah, isn't that his favorite?
Yeah, all right, sure, why not? And well, let's see. Let's resolve the paper, and I will likely feed him another dose after that.
Nutripack Yellow is just food, isn't it? Or
it's
is
just
that...
Nutripack Yellow is high adrenaline food for high adrenaline people, including 7 times pod racing champion Todd Rackett.
All right, I would definitely also that. Yeah, if I see him looking, I would definitely unwrap one and tentatively feed it into his maw, basically.
Sure.
Fanged, horrible.
As you open it, you can just see him snapping at it, and you kind of just throw it like feeding an alligator, throw it in his mouth, and he's just there chewing on this. Oh god, it's like a flapjack that's made out of rubber. It's he's
proper energy food.
It's the bar version of Monster, and so as you do that, you can see in crazed handwriting, Lias Gran has written down. I'm not going to read out all of the crazed stuff, but you start picking out the words, and basically he says, it's like, not going to get me, 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 and it starts getting like crazy, huge letters and things like that, it says, waiting for Chevy Chev, Chevy Chev, my Chevy Chev, Chevron, and then it says Chevron will know. Use the ducks. Use the ducks. Like the prank, he can find everything he needs. Use the ducts. At which point, a memory resurfaces in your mind, Chevron, where there was a prank in one of your many benders before, where you effectively put nebulized Viagra in the vents of a nightclub.
Of course you did.
It filled the club and had the chaotic effect that you would expect, and he's referring to when you last put something in a set of air vents and effectively gassed an entire club.
Okay. Well, it seems the hint is that maybe we could use what we have left of these, and I think we've got about 8 or so of those knockout. Well, I got the darts as well, haven't we? How many darts have we
we've got 10 patches, and
we haven't used any of those yet.
No, we haven't used. Oh, didn't.
Oh yes, we did use one.
Use one, yeah.
Yes, and I've only used one dart apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, X4.
X4 says that's not going to be enough to knock out an entire space station.
No.
We
need to get Lies out of here. He is fighting so hard.
If Geezer and Ixo can devise a cure, it would be possible to use the vents when we come back to cure whoever is still alive at that point.
But also, and JT's going to point at the pile of uppers. Do you think there's a pile of downers somewhere?
We could essentially get the entire space station high for like a certain amount of period and have them not be crazy for a bit. I guess.
Possibility. I guess we have a man on the inside we could possibly ask to see if there's anything about anything they have on board that we could use.
Yeah.
Are we going to pay a visit to floor 9?
Well, I was thinking our friend down in the storage bay.
Yes, he knows, because the other guy is just a fraud.
Yes.
So I fear we may have to access whatever the central command and control of this place is.
Or we could take Lies and run.
It's an option. I'm not ruling it out, but let's just say that.
Let's get Lies down there to some relative safety first, and then deal with floor 9.
What about R3A2?
Oh yeah, he might know. He might access. Was he maintenance or what was he?
External services.
Yeah, he should have access to the vents.
It's a possibility.
Contact him, X4.
They're linked.
I already have. Suddenly, kind of chat room style on your comlink, R3A2 says, "Yes, I have control of the event."
Nice. Could we
Interesting.
use them?
I do. And you notice that the room has suddenly become a little bit cooler.
Yes.
You could potentially help out everyone on the station, R3. We need.
I'd like that.
No.
We can look after them, but we can't deal with them while they're all excited like they are now. So we need them to fall asleep for a short while. Is there any way you could facilitate that?
There's a new consignment of tranquilizers in Docking Bay 7.
Well, that is awfully convenient, isn't it? And how would we get them into the system then?
Put it into it. Basically, R3 says, "Just put it in any vent, and I'll reverse the flow."
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's go.
Wires to the storage room and then docking bay 7 because I don't think we want to bring him down there.
We should get all our friends off the station first.
Yeah, let's get everybody off the station first. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, priority passengers being, obviously,
Grab
Liars.
the super mech, the guy stuck to a sofa, all the guys locked in the locker.
Now we
real-
leave the locked guys.
Yeah.
The real
R3,
question-
do you have access to Bay 7? Could you allow us to dock there?
No problem.
All right.
Sorry,
We've got a
everyone,
few-
what were you saying?
No, I'm just thinking. Well, again, are we letting everyone onto the Lakota, or do we need to use? And then Paul has to go look back on his notes. Qatari's ship.
84
No,
and 6.
because they had
They have
I think we can deal with 2 more.
hostiles on
troublemakers.
board.
Only a couple, though. I think we could deal with those, and then her ship's far more better suited for this sort of mass evacuation.
I mean, at the moment we're only bringing like how many conscious people? Was it that we had 4?
It's quite a few. There's quite a
Conscious
few-
people. I think we've only got one conscious person.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
the-
have.
Yeah, only the
one
Northland is awake.
conscious and one semi-conscious.
No more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no more use.
so there's no point in bringing an entire ship for just like a few people that we. So let's just get them onto our ship. That's fine.
but we're not going
What
to
are you
leave
doing
these
about
people.
Qatari then?
We're not going to leave these people here. Exactly. We're helping Qatari. Let's get Lars out of here first.
Yeah,
think
I guess-
we need to get
yeah.
to the nearest docking bay and get off this. Get ourselves back onto the Lakota. Then we can deal with the bigger problem.
Yeah, and then we
Clarity,
can get onto
can you dock
Qatari.
in?
We can get one, then pull everybody out when they're asleep, and put them on Qatari. Yeah.
Okay.
Clarity, can you dock in Bay 7?
Of course, JT.
And R3, what is the nearest docking bay to our location?
Where is docking bay 7?
We
Right.
need to just- yeah, we need
Docking
to-
Bay 7, you can see, is on the opposite side of the station to where you currently are. And it's general commerce. So kind of general traders, rather than the bulk traders that would be bringing in stuff at the bottom of the thing. It would be almost like to fill up stalls, maybe like make a little makeshift market of delicacies. That's where the drug dealers come in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I suggest we load the tranquilizers onto the Lakota, bring Gran, go back down to the castle, collect our friends, then put it in the ventilation system. And from then to
Sounds like a
KT4
plan.
and 6 to help Qatari.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do that. Starting and negotiating.
So the Lakota is going to go back to the cattle entrance.
We're going via Base 7 to collect the tranquilizers.
Okay, cool. You remind me, did you send Bishop back with the pit droids down to the bottom?
No,
No,
he's
we have
No.
just left him in the flat.
We left him with the guy stuck to a sofa.
You can either try again or verify your voice match settings in the Google Home app.
Our overlords.
Everyone is on our floor. We didn't send anyone off this floor because it was too hot and we wanted to deal with it. So all the pit droids, the Bishop and Yanta are all
Best.
still... Yeah, Shippool Best and Yanta are all still on this same floor.
Yeah.
I guess we're leaving Shippool behind for now because he's already zonked out.
If you want to,
Well,
yeah.
that's the question.
Depends.
He's
Has
glued
the
to a
robot
sofa right now.
woken
Can the
up
pit droids pick up the sofa? Might be a bit much.
Chevens are not small, man. I mean, they're
And pit
short, but
droids
they're stocky. They're
are-
like little tree trunks.
They
Can they
carry
pick up him?
ships,
Even-
ship parts.
Yeah, I would say, because you brought 6 of them.
Yeah.
We
Four.
got 4 with though, didn't
Yeah, we
we?
only brought
Four.
4.
4. Okay, so the 4 of them could do the sofa, but that would still leave someone to carry Bishop and Lion.
Well, Bishop
Bishop
was
on
always
the-
going to
Well,
reboot in
we
just
have
10 minutes, you said.
Victoria and John too.
Simon, you said
Okay.
Bishop was going to reboot in 10 minutes, and it's probably been about 10 minutes where we've been talking with...
It was a figurative 10 minutes, but yeah, I guess Yontu could carry him until he wakes up again.
Yeah.
Clock is still ticking. Very good.
Okay. So yeah, in that case, we'll say that Lias is being carried by Victoria, and until Bishop wakes up, we're going to have Yantu carrying him.
Though I assume he's already woken up, or is about to.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy, Yantu. So let's. I'm not going to get him to roll. I'm just going to say it's hampered. As you go down to docking bay 7, rather than rolling time, I like to roll fate.
I'm taking point.
Bishop doesn't seem to have woken up, but I've just realised you brought your astromech.
Yes.
Yes.
So he can reboot him.
Yeah, not a problem. Once it gets to around about the time where you're like, hang on, Bishop should have woken up by now, you hear X4 asks you to put the Bishop down, and X4 pops open a little hatch just off the back of its left shoulder, and a bunch of little arms come out and start sparking away. And
his hench arms.
Not the hench arms, the little ones, the little toolkit that pops out the front of an astromech, and suddenly there's a reassuring Unit Bishop online. And this thing stands up.
Welcome back, Bishop.
Welcome back.
JTVO, thank you very much. R8X4, thank you. Why is that man glued to a sofa?
Long story.
Do you
Why
have
is
stun
Trying to
setting?
shoot us, but he's on drugs, so we're trying to not kill everyone.
Welcome to the cube.
Do you have stun settings on your weapons?
Yes. Liars Gran, identified as still living.
Yes.
This unit is programmed to protect Liars Gran.
Do you want to carry him?
Yes. And
Protect him.
reaches out and takes the still gimlet-eyed, still kind of drooling and staring into space, 1,000-yard stare, Liars. Puts him over his shoulder, and with the second arm pushes it out in front of him, and you can see that the kind of weird curved mitt of Bishop, a repeating blaster comes out of his wrist. Ready when you are.
Yes.
Bishop, before we head off, can you tell anything about what happened before? Obviously, how did you get that bolt on you?
I was ordered to do some I was ordered to kneel as some maintenance was being performed. They started laughing. Next thing I know, I was under a restraining bolt.
Was it a Gamorrean?
No. I believe it was some of the roadies.
Ah.
However, the roadies were butchered by the Gamorrean.
Right.
Interesting.
Good to know.
One other thing, just as we're starting to head off, seeing as I now know that there's a force element to it, I would like to hand our sample of Emerald Road that we picked up to Nima and see if she can get a read on it at all.
Can I get a read on it?
Force dice, please.
Dun 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 dun.
Whoa!
Oh!
Maximum.
I was going to say one light side is not enough, and I was going to scale it, but that's maximum.
That's max light force.
Yeah,
Yeah.
max light force.
That's the maximum I can roll.
By the way, max light force, only 6 times winner of the pod racing. Anyway, so this is the moment where you get the Jedi music. So you hand it to Nima, and Nima, as this small package gets placed into your hand, the audience hears da, 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 as you yourself end up with 1,000-yard stare momentarily. And you get a montage of flashes as you see the celebrities taking this stuff off the trader, then the trader taking it from his supplier, and the supplier being given it by quite clearly a Sith.
Yeah.
The Sith in question is a tall male Sulustan. So if I bring up Sulustan race, they're these. Normally they're quite small. They're almost silhouette zero. This one seems to be taller, and you can see is neither master nor apprentice, but a cultist. You can see that there is no there's no lightsaber at their hip.
Which cult?
You're not sure. You can't tell from this.
Okay.
Just dark robes, and you can feel the Force is telling you this is a Sith.
Are the robes red?
No, black.
Okay. Probably not from the cult of Revan then.
I think probably also just in disguise, and like
Yeah.
the Force sense says Sith.
Yeah.
This is general kind of black robes, kind of traveler robes, and you can hear just very momentarily a sound clip kind of through your vision of my master requires the harvest. At which point the merchant, who is looking incredibly scared of the person in front of him, just nods palely. This is a Mon Calamari, and you can see that it is twitching and the face pulsing because they've got quite soft faces as they take the shipment and a ludicrous payment. My master expects discretion. This goes no further than you and I. And then it snaps back into Nima.
They got this from a Sith.
I really find these Sith gentlemen rather distasteful at this point.
I don't know who it was. I've never seen them before. Not that I've seen many Sith, but it was, what was the race, Simon?
Sulustan.
It was a Sulustan. I didn't see a lightsaber or anything.
Never heard them be quite that force sensitive of a race overall.
Well,
Well,
the Force is
I
weird.
suppose almost everyone could be.
In this case, this is a Sith cultist. They don't necessarily have to be
I know,
strong
but
with the Force.
Victoria
They just have
is
to
not the
follow it.
smartest when it comes to the Force.
Cool. I was just pointing out to you as players that this is just a cultist. They don't need to have powers.
No.
Well,
They
I'll take it.
just revere the Sith.
I will
They're
take
weird.
the little carry case back off of Nima and put it back in the coat, and be like, "Oh, it's gonna send Ixu insane."
He'll have a fun challenge with it.
Nice.
Besides, if we're tracking down a Sith, maybe finally Nima can get her light sword.
Lightsaber. Lightsaber, darling. Lightsaber. Not a lightsaber.
I thought you already got a light. I don't know. Wait.
No, they're not Sith race either, Hermit.
No, Hermit.
No. So
If you go back, I don't know if it's one
So
or two
dumb.
episodes,
You have the Sith-
I went on an entire tangent about the Sith and the Sith race.
Yes. So let's not go through that again. I'll just keep going.
The longer we stop here, the more likely the Gamorrean's able to turn the cameras on and find us.
Yeah, let's go.
Indeed.
Indeed. Let's keep moving.
Okay. So, thankfully now with a super battle droid in tow and a Chevron glued to a chaise longue, just walking along like oh god, what's his name from Futurama? Hedonism bot. Just kind of being carried through by four little pit droid sedan chair carriers. You start this crazy procession back down the stairwell, and you get to floor, let's see, it'd be floor 6, which has a direct route straight over to docking bay 7. you open the doors, and you're quite a retinue now. You can see as you open the doors, it's almost like a shopping boulevard. And the more you look into it, you do actually see shops, designer fashion names, designer gadget names, all the very best in holo imaging, all the best sound systems. This is a place where the super rich
Chevron is like a boy in a candy shop and wants to take
It is a Chevron. It is a Chevron dream, and in this case, nightmare.
The question is there a sleight of hand check in the Star Wars for Chevron to basically just grab things as we're going?
Who
I
am
mean, he
hiding
can do
this?
that.
Who am
We're
I
not
hiding this
stopping.
from? I've got a jacket made of pockets.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. Yes. If you want to just grab whatever you can while we're walking through, fine.
See, I feel like I'm being about to prompted to make a roll. I think imminently.
You are.
Yes.
I would like a discipline check at dip 3.
Oh no. Right. We'll do this. Oh, it's
What
not
is-
good. Not good, lady.
Discipline's not so bad. That's just will.
Okay.
No. An advantage. So I get the good
So,
stuff.
With
Right?
the advantage, the advantage will get you something from it. So I would like you, as a player, to decide as a character, for your character. Are you
Hey,
going?
Penguin! Thanks for the raid, dude.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Balbarith!
Hey, Balbarith.
Welcome to. I don't know what to call your viewers, but welcome to the Balbarith viewers. I hope you had a good time. You were playing.
Hi there, in caps.
I was seeing what you were playing. It was Warhammer Total War, wasn't it? And I meant to have a look in at some point, but time got away with me. Fantastic. Yeah, I'll watch the VOD. I've got a few VODs that kicking butt with Skaven. Absolutely, 100%. Although I'm not doing well with Skaven in Mordheim at the moment. I'm doing better with my humans. But yeah, welcome everybody. We are trying to get a incredibly stoned Doug, a Chevron that has been glued to a chaise longue and is being carried by a bunch of pit droids through what is effectively a celebrity retreat space station in the middle of space, and they're trying to get them off the station whilst everybody else is on some kind of strange dark force imbued feral drug that makes PCP look like cough medicine. So
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah, for this guy in Chevron, yes, Saturday night. For the rest of us, insanity.
Yeah.
And JT is in the corner going, organics.
Yeah.
I'll just shoot what I'm told to shoot.
So you get to floor 6, and you can see that there's this huge shopping center ahead of you. You've already failed your discipline roll, Chevron. So I'm going to use your character floor to say that you dart into one of the shops. I would like you to choose between the following: sound system, comlink, basically social network stuff. Clothing, or vehicles.
So this is
Oh no.
this is Chevron's addiction. He's not addicted to drugs. He's addicted to cool tech.
Cool to gizmos and shit.
Take the
He's
boombox.
addicted to shiny new toys and spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I'm gonna go with comms. Let's get a new phone.
Comms, okay.
Gizmos,
New
toys.
phone.
Not
Yeah.
what I would have guessed.
I was pretty close to clothes, but I'm like, we've done the clothes thing already. Come on, let's have some fun.
We
with it.
did get new clothes before this mission started.
Like
Yeah.
any of which are perfectly viable choice, basically. But I just, I went with my
Okay.
heart. What can I say?
You can see in one of the shops is what is something that you could never possibly hope to get legally through money. Although saying that, you've got a ridiculous amount of money. It's also the fact that these are made, custom made for performers, which means there's not many of them. It's not for general public. And this is a form of holo imager It records, it transmits. It is the ultimate in, I guess, streaming software and streaming hardware. Sorry, it not only does the whole "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope" little transmission of a holo image when you project it. For anybody who has the ability to enter VR state or has a general room holo projector, you can project your entire surroundings as an interactive environment around them. You can also do the same by linking sensors to it, and you can kind of drop sensors and suddenly just be in that room. It can record entire rooms by firing out a scanning pulse to the point where you can recreate that room as far as it can be seen from the unit. And so you can kind of revisit places you have been. You know that Liars wanted to basically get one of these to VR record some of his more raucous drug-fueled sex sessions with supermodels. And so, yeah, and it's right there. And from what you can tell, it was in the middle of being configured when whatever happened, presumably with the pool of blood that's next to it. Whoever was operating it got killed. You know that you can walk up there, slap that baby on, and it will configure to you.
Take it.
Well, absolutely, that is happening. Well, yeah. So I just turn to the person like, this is important, and just sprint off into the
your advantage. So again, this wonderful Genesis system, you have failed, but and the but is I will allow you a method rather than me choosing it of getting there. So it could be that you dart in and out and use speed with athletics. You could use stealth. You could use something else that you think up, and we'll put a roll to it. I will allow you a method by which you can quickly or safely go in there. Bear in mind, this floor is crawling with people who are under the influence of Emerald Road.
Okie dokie. Well, so let's. All right, I'm scrolling things that I'm actually good at that are physical in any shape or form. Yeah, I want you to know.
Agility of some sort.
I've got non-trivial stealth. It's all right. So I will. Weird actually. My survival's probably not applicable here, but actually no. I'm going to pitch it then. I will use my keen survival instincts to just try and give a quick left and right and try and basically make a route to this shop front basically without anyone catching a glimpse of me. Let's go. You're
going to use your awareness, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll go with that. So let's see. With heightened senses, the diff for this is going to be 1 red and 1 purple. So go for it. Okay.
And that's a survival check I'm making then, yeah?
Yep, survival check. So in this case, you're using camouflage, effectively, and you're keeping things between you and it.
Right. Here we go.
You run straight up to this thing, and there are 2 pieces to it. There is a shoulder-mounted, kind of almost like a pauldron, that records your face and what you're looking at forward and all the rest of it. And then there is a part that connects to your wrist, and the 2 work together. You walk straight up, slap it on, and as it's about to say, as it gets through the first few notes of welcome to the, you quickly hit the mute button, which is going to be the advantage that you had. Again, even if you'd succeeded on getting in, it could be that you had to make a hasty retreat. You can hear that there is a kind of like a sound of a blunt object hitting meat nearby, but it doesn't stop as you crawl out of the shop. Feeling slightly stupid and reckless now that you've kind of got out of the haze of getting this item.
Satisfied, relieved,
you can see
glad.
That there's a small drone about the size of a saucer that's on the back of. It's not even a saucer. It's about the size of a a very small coaster that's on the back of the wrist guard, which also has a lot of the controls on it. You know that this is a drone that will record the room around you, and also if you wanted to, you could send it flying around and you could see through it. So yeah, you now have the Trackmaster comlink and broadcasting you.
Okie dokie.
What did you do that for?
I mean, look at it. It's fantastic.
You could have got Gran killed.
But we're all fine now. Look, I've got this. Gran's still here.
What
Everything's-
is it?
This is the. I've got the name of it, Simon. Sorry.
It's the Trackmaster comlink and broadcasting you, personal broadcasting.
Yeah, this is gonna be dangerous. Let's do this the easy way, shall we? Victoria will pick Chevron up and throw him over her shoulder as we're going to the rest of this shopping district.
Chevron,
wait.
are you resisting?
I will, because as pointless as it is with my singular brawn, I will because Chevron would. It's like no, he's in the candy shop right now, and you are, yeah.
I am stopping him.
Okay, so in order to do this, it's actually an attack first to gain contact. Mm-hmm. So Victoria, give me a brawl check, div 2.
Yeah.
The black, I think. If you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Okay, she's not trying to damage you. She's just trying to grapple you. So she's grappled you. At any point, Paul, you can just say, "I tried to escape," and it's a brawl off.
Yeah, so you roll your single brawl versus.
I will. Well, is it just a
one red
Victoria
and
basically to resist?
or
is it?
One red, 4 purple.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm rolling against?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. I will give token resistance. 4 purple.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. No.
No.
Alright.
Close.
Too
Close.
There's a part of me that. Do I want to? No, we're risking. Right. No, but anyway, so yes, Chevron will.
You got
You
one
futilely
toy.
resist.
Now we're getting out of here.
And the threats are, you are looking a little bit like a child right now.
JT is going to walk around to the other side of Victoria, so I can see Chevron's face again. Did you say there was a drone on that?
And I'll sort of put like, yeah, right here. Look. And sort of, I don't know how much noise it will make though.
Well, let's get in the stairwell and find out.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll start.
We'll quickly shuffle along.
So you
Back into the stairwell.
you get into the stairwell, and Chevron, you put the commands in. A holographic piloting array comes out underneath your left hand, and with a perceptible quite quiet, because it doesn't. It's not supposed to interfere with the broadcast. Very quiet drone hovers up out of the wrist, and the shoulder piece. Suddenly, a little eyepiece comes out of the pauldron, and in your right eye, you can now see everything that the drone can see.
Okay. I guess then yes. Well, I will send it into the market essentially with a view to both spot any other. Set it up high basically in order to spot any other active, residents of the ship and more bargains.
There it is.
In that case, give me a. We'll say that the primary mission of looking of trying to scope out the floor will be successes and failures, and then bargains will be advantages and threats. So give me a
I like that you're
perception
looking
check.
for
diff-
bargains
two.
for the places where you can just take things.
I mean, everything's a bargain. Obviously, it's more about the. And so diff 2 was that?
Div 2, yeah. You've got a tool. Sure.
Yeah.
You can see there are a couple of packs at the moment, but they've seemed to have gotten to the point now where everybody who hasn't been hideously murdered is very capable of murdering themselves. We're getting towards, the final group in the Hunger Games or Battle Royale, your choice, and they're kind of stalking in packs. So as long as you are careful, you can see where they are at the moment. They seem to be more transfixed with larger figures than the drone. The drone, actually looking at it, it's about the size of my mouse. Thinking about it, because that would be about right for your arm.
I just obviously was wary of it making actual real drone noises, which like,
Oh God, no. This, if you're close enough, there's a little woo woo woo, but that's it. Yeah. As for the bargains, let's.
So maybe I suppose with the advantages, so let's maybe put it. So, is there a route that we actually could get the Shay Lounge down without being spotted? We think.
Yes, with difficulty. You looking at it, you'd prefer to unstick the Chevin by now. Okay.
Well.
So the other thing that you see is there is something that is going. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's kind of crashed and listing to one side, but it's a Firehawk swoop that has got a new paint job. Seems to be sponsored, and you do see that one of the sponsors is NutriPack Yellow, and it's in the main concourse, and the concourse goes all the way through to the docking bays. Someone could run up, jump on that puppy, and just fly it straight to the docking bay. Hover it straight to the docking bay.
But this is a one or two man.
Anything into a shopping episode.
Yes.
Is it how many passengers is this? I assume not. Clearly doesn't take all of this. It's one or two.
A swoop is a bike, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
Well, thankfully, Chevron's restrained, so he can't do anything about this.
Am I doing the doohickey over the shoulder still at the minute?
Yeah.
We're doing the doohickey over the shoulder.
You heard me. Perfect command of the English language I have.
It got the meaning across, so therefore it was a successful use of the English language.
Chevron, you're pretty certain that if you could convince JT to run up and jump on that puppy, it's his. And it looks modded to fuck. It's gonna be fairly noisy, so once that starts, could be a distraction, or it could be get everybody to docking bay 7, then just pilot that puppy in and get to the ship.
I will show it to JT. I will basically. I don't know if I can send him the holography or I can make a little projection. I don't know, but
I can see VR.
It's a broadcasting unit.
Oh, excellent!
You can make it any size you like. You can transfer it straight to, as Ed's just said, JT's comm unit, so that he gets the full VR experience, as if he's standing right next to it.
So I will show to those that can receive the route that I recommend taking through the complex to get us to the other side, the mass of us, and then I would also show to JT the swoop and say there's also this I thought that caught my eye.
Okay, JT, you are guns and ammo mad.
Yes.
What would you say is a fair role for your obsession with your guns and ammo magazines? It can be, for this pilot planetary, if you wish.
Look at it. It's got the modified, fenders.
Yeah, I think that's probably best for me.
Sure. It's just a diff 2 because it's in plain view. You either know this or you don't. Give me a piloting planetary diff 2.
Yeah, I think we did this with pod racing before as well. So
yeah. It covers everything on the subject. So yeah,
lots.
You can see that there is a bleeding edge boost unit on the back of this puppy. This will quite happily take this to pod racer speed and beyond for a very short period of time, to the point where it will grease anybody trying to follow it.
So I figure we'll head ahead and JT will bring up the rear.
How many hostiles are there?
around in the hologram that you can see, there are none currently. Around the, if you ask Chevron would be able to tell you that there's currently on this floor 7 bands of people between 3 to 6.
7 bands.
7 bands of 3 to 6.
Yeah, there's a lot, so we don't want to attract all their attention. You would be able to probably like just speed across away from them, but
If JT holds back, JT's very quiet when he wants to be.
I will bring up the rear. And
if you,
it's a really nice swoop.
I mean,
I'll come to my dark side, Ed. Come.
I don't really feel like a swoop is
important, but you can
almost
also see that
priority
it
right now.
has pyrotechnic launchers. They are not weapons, but they effectively shoot fireworks out of the front.
Well, JT,
I mean,
you can go and get it once we got the tranquilizer, or like the tranquilizer in there, because you don't breathe, so you can just go and get it when everybody's...
You know what? That's a much better idea. Good plan.
You're going months against Chevron's instant gratification, you know. And also, Simon, you're doing an excellent job as a used car salesman. We're like, no, we're going to leave it. But it's also got the pod racer boost unit. No. It's also got the launchers on the side. I'll throw in the launchers for free.
Okay, so yeah, you are going to just pick through the route. Are you going to chip the Chevron out of his chaise longue?
I mean, yes, I think that's a good idea. Because we can't get him
on top of the ship and put him in.
Well, the reason, Felicia, is because we can't get him through quietly enough without alerting everybody. We need to get him out there, because otherwise there's not a route we can take.
Yeah, because currently he qualifies as a small, slow-moving vehicle.
Yeah.
Fine.
Think a mini metro, except on 4 little sets of legs, going incredibly slow, of which 2 sets of the legs can't really see very well.
Yeah, so let's get him out there.
I'm gonna assume that the thing we essentially covered him in has solidified enough that I can just, like, hold it.
Oh yeah, you could ship him off the sofa, and he'd still be stuck to himself.
Yes, good. We'll do that.
Okay. He's a little more manageable now. Yontu, somewhat laughing, well, smiling, and his chest seems to be vibrating. There's no sound coming out. Picks up the Chevron and kind of turns to Chev, who currently is hanging off the side of Victoria, and goes, I'll take good care of him. I heard what you said, who you said he was.
I think this one gets his own cabin.
Okay, that's going to make the diff so much easier. Right, so the diff for you all is going to be 2 purple, 1 black. I'm going to flip a destiny point for who? I'm going to upgrade the diff for Yontu, and I'm going to upgrade the diff for Chevron doesn't need to roll.
No, because Chevron's being
He's
carried.
being carried.
Yeah.
I was hoping Victoria's going to pick up the other guy.
I'm going to upgrade the diff for Bishop and also for JT. So for JT, Bishop, and Yontu, it's 1 red, 1 purple, and 1 black. For the rest of you, it's 2 purple, 1 black. Stealth checks, please.
Oh dear. I'm very good at that. I don't think.
Oh. Wait a minute.
Ah.
Oh yeah,
That
all
is
good.
not good.
No, it's still a failure.
Yontu.
Oh, pulls up a spare.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. So Chevron doesn't need to roll.
Me.
Corinne, if you could roll, and I will roll for.
I'm gonna use 1 strain to upgrade my check.
Ooh.
I mean, you can use a light side point if you just want to do that, because we got them going.
I mean, rather than giving Simon one, I'm just gonna use my ability
Fair
to
enough.
use one strain and then upgrade check.
Fair.
Let's see.
It's a slightly disappointing stealth roll for me.
You still succeeded.
Yeah,
lot.
but only 2 successes.
Yeah.
Here's a lot
That
of
is
dice and
a
not a lot.
lot of dice. I only had 2.
Yeah, I am.
JT is good at
I'm
3
scared.
things.
Yeah, well, Victoria doesn't do stealth. She's honorable. She faces people head on. Stealth isn't
that's fair, that's fair.
necessary.
Yep.
You know.
So-
I fail.
Okay, right. So this is what happens. JT stalks like a pro. Victoria, you don't seem to have a problem until all of a sudden you are paying attention to either side of you, kind of getting your sword ready just in case you do have to fight. You're just about to step on something that you would have actually tripped over.
May I flavor it?
You may, but Yontu's going to do something. Go for it.
I was gonna say that while we're heading through something, I pay attention to the sides, but not above me. So I accidentally knock Chevron's head into something.
Well, you're just about to, and then Yontu's triumph kicks in, and as you're about to knock it, you can see that Yontu just reaches up and pushes it out the way.
Yeah.
So Yontu's triumph is turning your failure into a success, which means the only person who failed is Nima.
Yay!
Okay.
But
Now-
does everybody need to succeed, or is it like a group
Nope,
check?
this is a group check. So the number of failures versus the number of successes is how bad it is.
Yeah.
You have mostly successes with only 1 net failure.
Yeah.
So you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
So do I trip on something, or do I knock I knock a barrel or something, or knock something?
Yeah, and it's heard, but they don't necessarily identify it as your group.
Yeah.
You do hear some swearing, some curses in various languages from various warbands that are currently stalking each other in the cube. But you get to docking bay 7 without much of an issue. I say much. There does appear to be sounds of the bands coming in your general direction due to the 1 failure, but the chances are they're going to meet each other before they meet you. Either way, I suggest you haul ass. What are you doing?
Hauling ass.
Whole ass.
Okay? You can see docking bay 7.
Literally.
There are many dead
I
people.
am hauling one ass.
There are many dead people, and you can see that there are a bunch of crates that have been offloaded. Presumably, one of these crates contains the aforementioned tranquilizer.
JT is bringing up the rear, like I said. So he's going to basically motion everyone to get on the ship, and JT is going to check out which crates.
Yes.
Okay?
At
Trying to be
this
stealthy
point,
still.
I put Chevron down so I can help JT hold them on the ship.
I mean, Chevron is far away from the nearest shop now, so I don't think there's any.
Exactly.
worries
There's no
there.
reason for me to carry him
Okay.
any further.
Chevron, you know that of all the people to identify the correct drug, you're the one.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to suggest, and I was going to play with my new toy, and I will send the little eye in the sky basically to zip around and look up. I can see the like.
All the crates are sealed, so
okay,
there's
good.
not that many of them though. As you go through them quickly, I would like you to make me a Streetwise or Knowledge Underworld check. We're gonna. JT was the primary actor, so JT, can I have from you a perception check? And that's just a perception or investigation check because you're searching through things. And then on top of that,
investigation isn't a skill.
no, it isn't. What is it?
Yeah, that's in D&D.
That's D&D. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm making it. The one thing I've got left to do running Genesis tomorrow is just to go back over the skills to remind myself.
Yeah. Sorry. In that case, it is just perception.
Yeah,
for you, then.
perception is.
So
good for me.
perception for JT and Streetwise or Underworld Intelligence for Chevron, please.
What diff?
The diff is only 2. You're pressed for time, but little else.
I'm going to flip a point, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Because JT has probably come across tranquilizers before. Probably knows a little bit about tranquilizers,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. I'll certainly go with that.
Oh,
Okay, fail,
wait,
but
no.
triumph.
So you start searching through, JT, and you haven't found anything that you recognize as tranquilizers. However, you have found something that is a performance-enhancing drug for fighters, pit fighters.
Useful for keeping this guy awake.
It could either be very, very good for Yontu, or maybe you could weaponize it in some way, because it does make the heart race. It doesn't do as bad as Emerald Road, which seems to change your outlook as well. It's not just that somebody is heightened, it actually subverts their character. This stuff is just, it's adrenal. It would make people. I'm thinking of the frenzy spell in Skyrim at the moment. You're pretty sure you could turn this into a drug that, you could turn this into a dart maybe that would, a batch of darts that would make people not be able to identify friend or foe.
Well, handful into the backpack.
Sure. I haven't really given it a name because I'm doing this on the fly. Just put it in red mist drug. Yeah, we'll call it red mist until I can give it a bet.
Okay, so should I roll perception as well then, or should I still roll streetwise?
Just your streetwise.
Okay. Oh, oof.
Oh boy!
Ooh.
Yeah, with your advantages, you do it in double quick time. You go, here we go. Medical grade tranquilizer. This isn't a drug, this is a medical supply.
Nice.
And as a result, it's not in little street packets. It's in effectively blood bags, drip bags.
Okay.
And there's a lot of it.
Okay.
I will pick up the entire crate if possible and carry it onto the ship.
Well, we wanted it in the ventilation system, didn't we?
Yeah, but we're gonna put it in ventilation after we've gotten the people from the lower level.
Yes.
Yep.
Well done.
You hoof it onto the ship, and with the advantages and things that you've had, you've done this in double quick time. No problem at all. There you go. You've got everything on the ship. The second that the ship docks, because it does, Clarity isn't going to dock until you give her the final say so. You do hear that some people are shouting, "Oh, what's that?" JT, if you wanted to go for that swoop, either now would be the time or after you administer the dose.
Going after we administer the dose. I have got a Glock grenade ready just in case, though.
Sure. Okay. You all get onto the ship, and as soon as you see a bunch of people running in the distance, you disengage the docking clamps, and the last thing you see are the warbands who are all running towards the ship, fighting each other.
Good. Or
Wow.
not good. Not good.
Say good, yeah.
It's
The
better than them
drug
fighting
addled.
us.
It's good for JT.
Okay.
Yes. Shall we?
So this is a good point to have a 10-minute break.
Yep.
I need
Yeah.
to recharge my coffee, and I'll try to
I'm
think up as I
gonna
do
grab
so
my
a good
cake.
name for an angry drug. Also, chat. Think up a name for an angry drug. Let's get you involved.
Angry dog.
We will see you all in 10 minutes' time. See you then.
See you very soon.
And welcome back, everybody. When we left off, the guys had managed to get back off the ship with Elias Gran, Bishop, the super battle droid, and what is it? I've got it on my notes. Covered my notes. Shikpul Bess, a influential character in the galaxy, a Shevan that they managed to chip off his sofa after sticking him to it with a super glue bomb, narrowly avoiding 7 warbands that were in this this large shopping district of the space station. They have a large consignment of tranquilizer, and now we're trying to find a way of putting it through the space station. So, what would you like to do?
But thing one is get both Lars Gran and, again, you said it 10 seconds ago, and our other passenger to the medical bay as soon as possible.
Yes.
And
Sure.
try and get Giza to give them a once over and see what he can do.
Yes.
Sure. So, Geyser, I'll use the word that he uses. Geyser is ready the second that you walk in, and he takes a look at the Shevan first, and giving him a quick look over, goes, other than some sort of allergic reaction to something that he's taken, resulting in a very vast amount of swelling, there may be some sort of mutagenesis here as well to the legs. If you remember, I said his legs were like giant, ripe, swelled fruit.
Oh, yeah.
He seems to be quite stable. I'm more concerned with this Doug fellow here. Please put him on the central table.
Put him on the central table.
Direct Bishop to do so.
Bishop puts on there. At which point, because it's only a small medical bay that you have on the Lakota, Geyser turns around to Bishop and says, he'll be safe here. Station yourself outside. And you can see Bishop marching robotically outside and standing in the corridor. The patient's name, please.
Lars Gran.
Mr. Gran, you appear to be going through some severe mutagenesis, not to mention some sort of hypertensia. I need to, and you can see that there's a bunch of sensors coming down from the top of the from the ceiling of this quite small medical bay. Probes get placed on, and some of them stabbed into the skin of Lias Gran. Lias is just there, just drooling, gibbering under his breath with the 1,000-yard stare. And a couple of, what feels like an hour goes past, but it's only a couple of minutes. And Geyser goes, yes. Mr. Gran, you're on the verge of having a very severe cardiac arrest. I'm going to have to put you into a more stabilized state. I can see what you were trying to achieve. Very clever. A heightened biochemical response. I'm going to put you under, but I'm going to keep that heightened biochemical response until we can stop whatever biological cascade that you were trying to prevent. Well done. I don't know if you're a genius or just have good instincts, but either way, I believe you've saved yourself from a quite terrible fate. Starts administering a drug, and you can see that the eyes roll back, so you can only see the whites of the eyes. The eyes close. You can still see that the body itself is twitching, and Geyser starts putting in a form of stimulant, but you can see that the breathing is slowed. So weirdly, it's stimulating part of his body, but relaxing the other part. This will be a delicate balancing act of his internal systems. Thankfully, the Doug seemed to be quite resistant to whatever it was that originally poisoned him.
Yes,
I'm assuming this is the effect of Emerald Road.
Yes,
It would appear so.
The Emerald Road was given to them by... It was originally came from a Sith. So we have... And it's some sort of the dark side of Force playing in here as well.
I'm afraid I know very little about the dark side of the Force. I will only be able to work with the chemical and biochemical interactions that I see before me.
Yes, of course.
And once everyone else has left, I will basically say to Giza, if you think you're fighting a losing battle, this might come in handy. And I'll pass in my cryo grenade because my ace in the hole. So if you run a losing fight, freeze them.
A curious device to weaponize something that could potentially save a life. Thank you. Should I get in trouble, I shall use this. As you say, it will probably freeze everything in the room, but I shall make sure that I leave the room beforehand. I don't know what it will have on our systems, but it should be able to protect your friend. Thank you.
You're welcome. And return to the
Get
ship.
down to the other hangar now.
This whole time, I've been up on the bridge, moving us around to the other entrance.
Yep. X4 is also plugged in, and you hear a. I'm speaking to I'm speaking to R3A2 now, trying to find the best way to put in a vent.
Good. Keep going.
The only question is, should we get Qatari's ship first? Or should we just go and...
I mean, I think getting the ship ready so we can get everything done might be a good idea.
Clarity's voice appears from a nearby speaker. I believe one of the major challenges that you're going to have is to nebulize that tranquilizer so that it gets ingested. Thankfully, it's quite a powerful one and would work very well if it was to enter the lungs. But you do need to nebulize it, otherwise you're just going to be splashing a liquid into the vent. I recommend adapting one of the systems that we have here on the ship.
How did you do it last time, Chevron?
There was a doctor. He was they just passed their medical exams, so we sort of recruited them. So I must admit, I outsourced.
You remember there being an industrial strength bomb involved.
Well, I will suggest we take Clarity's suggestion then. I suggest we take the suggestion.
Yes.
Well,
Either a fuel injector or a coolant injector would be suitable.
Pod noodles.
Well, X4, can you make any parts you think we could obviously scrounge up?
X4 says, I can transfer it, but if I end up breaking it, we're going to have bigger problems than we started with.
Why
I'm
don't we
going
just
to-
take one from one of the ships that's, well,
I'm going
going
to
under?
call Qatari and see if she's still around.
Yeah.
You still there, Qatari?
How are you doing? Oh,
We've got Gran. We've got Gran.
Well done.
Mostly safe.
Well, I've been doing a little bit of rearranging myself. I've managed to patch into one of the waste systems. I'm pretty sure I can put myself in a can if you're willing to accept some cargo.
Do you have a spare fuel pump or injector on the ship?
Yeah, of course I do. This bucket's always going down. I told you I'm in the engineering bay.
Do you think your ship is salvageable?
In time, yeah, but it's probably fucked now.
We've got a plan to nebulize a very strong tranquilizer and pass it through the system, through the cube. We could also pass it through your ship if we could get to the life support systems.
Hey, I could do that from here. So, what are you saying? Set up an injector so that it floods the ship here. Then just take the system and install it on the cube, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you
You
got
get
tranquilizers
immediately the way that she picks up the idea straight away. Peerless engineer. Sure. Yeah, we can do something. Yeah.
Have you got the tranquilizers there, or do you need us to send you some?
You can pump me some through the fuel system. Give me 10 minutes. I'll be able to give you the fuel port. I'll just have to flush it through with water first to make sure that I don't end up blowing us to Kingdom Come when we vent it through the air system. But yeah, this is just pipes and ports, mate. We can do this. Hang on a sec. And there's a as it cuts off. About 10 minutes later.
I'll just quickly say to everyone, seems like we have a fuel injector nebulizer tool.
Well done, JT. Well
Yeah,
done.
well done. That works.
Rear starboard side, port 3. Don't put it in port 4, that's a waste system. You won't want that. Oh.
I presume this is a refueling port, kind of a standard.
It's a standard liquid port. So it's used for fuel, it's used for clearing out the toilets on the ship, it's used for putting clear water back into the ship. The Star Wars universe is nothing if not practical. It's the USB of liquid ports. This is something I got. This is something I got from the 501st.
Absolutely disgusting, but functional, I guess.
Yeah, there's stories of people linking the wrong port to the wrong port and ending up having sewage in their fuel lines, or having Tabana gas bubble through their water supply. Which,
there are times you want specific plugs for specific things.
Yeah. There's a point where you do want to have the whole kind of what do you call it? Poke-yoke, the engineers call it. And that is, you can only put it in one way.
Do we need someone outside the ship to plug this in, or can we do this automated?
You can do it automated. This is a system on a lot of different ships.
Nice.
Airborne refueling systems basically allows a ship to refuel another ship so that they can get going.
Cool. Yes, we'll pump the tranquilizer through the port. You've got a rebreather, I presume.
Yeah, I'm good. I can sort myself out.
And we will make our way over there.
The two ships line up. This little arm with a kind of hose comes out. You flush it through yourself, because normally you use this for fuel. Plug it into some of your supply, and send through a few liters of good grade tranquilizer. And a few minutes later, she goes, right, ready to deliver. And you can hear a device booting up in the background. And she goes, oh, it's kind of pretty. It's like some of the dry ice we use on stage.
How are you doing, by the way?
Takes a long time to die from a stomach wound. It's currently both a good and bad thing.
How well covered is your stomach wound?
I use some wadding, some duct tape.
Have you taken any stim packs yet?
Yeah, a few.
Okay,
Can the
wait.
Tape always works.
I'm
I've
gonna-
patched a few wounds that way.
She's got a critical injury, basically.
I'm going to ask the organics if the tranquilizer can enter her bloodstream without her breathing it in if her wound is uncovered.
Yes?
Yes?
Shit.
Geyser?
I believe that if she's bound the wound, it won't go in through the blood. It will certainly go through lungs and mucous membranes. As long as she's wearing trousers, she should be fine.
We should go and get her medical attention.
Yes.
That too.
So when there's time, we're basically going to dock, walk through, and get her out. Just me.
Yeah. Geyser says, I believe that you should wait 20 minutes. It sounds like her position is stable, but do keep talking to her.
Yeah.
And you talk to Katari.
Keep her talking.
Yep. You're on the comlink whilst you're walking through a slightly foggy corridor.
Yeah, bring a few pit droids as well to carry the nebulizer.
Sure. You've got which two would be fine. Which ones are you going to choose?
Sneezy and Happy.
Sneezy and Happy. So Sneezy and Happy are kind of happily bobbing along behind you as you walk onto a ship of completely tranquilized people. You can see that mostly there seems to be veins bulging in their necks and in their arms.
Don't forget to take samples.
There are a few. That have been injured and some who have bled out. But for the most part, there's a few salvageable individuals here as well.
Well, I was actually going to suggest when we go on the way back that I fly this ship with all the tranquilizer in the air, so we can also bring Graham's ship back.
I mean, yeah, we have a self-steering ship, so why not?
I love the fact that, there's been a drug theme to this, but I love the fact that your answer is that JT is going to fly back and hyperspace active hot dogs.
Yes.
Yeah,
I feel like Magic Carpet Ride needs to be the theme on the way back. I accidentally picked the wrong one. So yeah, you get to the part and she goes, "Oh, hang on a sec. Stand back from the door," and you hear poof, 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 as she blasts away the welds with a blaster pistol, and the door flies open violently, and you can see a. I can't remember the race I called her. What was Qatari's race?
She was Gotar.
Yes, a Gotar. That's right. You can see the slick bluish blood of this Gotar has congealed and dried on her dressing, and you can see that moving around has somewhat agitated the wound, and this fresh blood kind of pooling at her belt level. She's having trouble. She's having trouble standing at this point with all the extra work that she's done, and she's holding a rebreather to her face at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap an arm under her and support her on the way back while directing the droids to pick up the nebulizer.
Sure. They pick up. It's about the size of a large flight case, and you can see that there's a kind of manifold on the front. And it's an injector. It works a lot like a regular nebulizer. It's a pyramid nebulizer, so it's got central airflow through the center, and then it's got capillary in like a cone shape that comes across.
The chemist comes out.
Yeah. So yeah, the chemist who's actually had to design a nebulizer. So yeah, you walk it back to the ship. Leaving everybody else unconscious or dead in the ship.
Meh.
Good handiwork.
And thanks. Do you have a medibay?
Yeah,
Yes.
We've got a good medic droid as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm gonna need some Bacta.
We do. We got a tank. I think we got.
Not on the ship.
Not on the ship.
You've got a tank on the asteroid,
Yeah.
not on the ship.
No.
In our super secret, hyper or triple secret base.
Yes. Fine.
There are
yes.
back to tanks on the Sprawl
Yes,
generally.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are Bacta tanks available. And Qatari says, thanks. You get into the ship, and immediately Geyser has set up, even in the docking bay, not the docking bay, sorry, the cargo bay, has set up a triage center because the medibay is too small. He's already set up his field kit and a little stretcher and all the rest of it. You put it down on there, and immediately he gets to work. I'm just going to give him one roll now.
Come on, Geyser.
He fails, but he stabilizes her like a champ. She's out of action, so she won't be able to help you with anything, but she is now out cold, but no longer suffering from any of the trauma.
Good.
And Geyser says, it was a matter of hours.
Good.
Oh,
We got her back out and stabilized her.
Yeah. She was
Well,
close to getting to bleeding out.
Yeah.
Just under it.
Let's
so,
get
yeah.
the rest of this place.
Yeah.
You can see that the injector would be the one that you've got, rather than docking up to the a port on the cube. You are going to have to get back on the cube, and then just place this in front of any vent, and then tell R3A2 which vent it is. But after that, job's a good one.
We also want to bring our non-drugged up friends.
Yeah, we were gonna.
How
grab a
many?
few people?
There's a Nymoidian who's had nothing. There's a Mirilan who's had something. We don't think it's Emerald Road, but everyone else is Emerald Road.
We've
So
got quite a lot
we
of stunned people as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to dump the stunnies on the.
Yeah, basically.
On the one. Well, we
His
need a
son
ship.
is on the Trank, the bigger ship, and the Nemodian can come onto our ship and be seen by Geyser because they had a wound, if I
Severe
remember correctly.
beating.
Yeah. Her left arm, I think I said, has been severely fucked up.
Yeah.
And needs medical attention.
So let's do that. We're going
Okay.
back to the cattle entrance.
Yep, you get into the cattle entrance. You can still hear a banging from inside one of the cattle stalls,
Oh yeah,
Our friend, the
that guy.
Basilisk.
and the basilisk is still beating the shit out of his surroundings, and he's going to go for a nap real soon. Don't worry about that. And you get to the storeroom. What do you do?
We announce our presence with the code word.
Yeah.
The
House
house
has lost.
The Nemoidian goes, "You're damned right, it has," and opens up the door, and you can see that the Marillion. Marillion. I'm going to go with Marillion.
The music is.
It's Mirialan.
Mirialan.
Marillion.
Thank you. I was about to say there's an extra A in there, so Mirialan.
I keep saying Marillion because I spell it wrong every time I write it down.
Yeah.
That's
so-
all the funky.
say it one more time.
Mirialan.
Mirialan. So the Mirialan is actually awake, still handcuffed to a pipe, but is wide awake, and you can see has been crying for some time. The Nemoidian turns around and says, "I think that she is safe. She hasn't shown any signs of the violence of the others."
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Useful.
I'm gonna go over and take the slap cuffs off her then.
Yeah. You can see that the Nemoidian has put a bunch of ripped up sackcloths as like a blanket over the Mirialan, and because they were wearing quite revealing clothing and they were starting to get a bit cold.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, this is just a storeroom. It's meant to be quite cool. And the Nemoidian kneels down beside her and says, "You do remember that I said they will be here to help us. You've been through a lot. They will understand." And
I'm sorry for shooting you.
the Mirialan looks up at you and just kind of nods no. You don't know what she means by no. Maybe it's not a problem or whatever, but just nods no. Doesn't seem to be that expressive right now. And the Nemoidian comes up, takes you by the shoulder, walks you gently outside for a second, and says, "She found her partner in the oven. Probably best to just
Yeah.
I will
Very gruesome.
not speak to her then.
And she goes back in, helps the Marillion to her feet, and starts taking her in the direction of the ship. As she passes Chevron, she just mutters, "She was under the influence of some drugs, but not Emerald Road," and takes the Marillion back to the ship.
Mirialan.
We will get that right at
Okay.
some point.
I'm gonna have to kind of be saying that to myself. I'll write out on the
Mary
post-it.
Allen.
Mary Allen.
Mary Allen.
Mary Allen.
Mary
Takes
Allen. Mary Allen.
Known as Mary Allen. To the ship. Fucking names. To the ship, and whilst nursing her own forearm that has been broken. It's not quite an open fracture, but it's close to it. You can see the bone pressing up against the skin. Geyser gets 2 more patients. One has got PTSD and the other one has a green stick fracture. So, as your little floating hospital starts going by, there is a duct nearby that you can put the nebulizer next to. And I presume that you tell R3A2 which one it is.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yep. And you can hear as the duct, instead of blowing cold air in, suddenly changes direction, and you hear a as it starts to become
Already
a
on
industrial
it.
Hoover. Rerouting the air systems now, and then you do get a comlink thing saying, "I recommend you leave the station."
Yes.
Yes.
So I figure next phase is to go and try and fix up Liar's ship. So we've got a transport.
Sure.
Remake that into the transport for everyone who needs. Well,
Okay.
everyone who's alive that we can pick up.
Well, do we need to actually take them?
I mean, we could theoretically just leave them here unconscious for
No. What?
how many days it takes to go back and then get a cure and then go back here.
What JT is going to suggest is we take Liar's retinue and nobody else, basically. Because JT doesn't care about anyone else.
That
JT
is
barely
true.
cares about Liar's retinue, but he knows Chapman and Liars will care.
This is the question. Do we think we should call in the Empire, the Rebellion? We could call for help. We'll be long gone before they reach, but they're in this region of space.
But what
Or
could they
we-
do?
Well, it's clear that whoever's been under the influence, as we've seen, some of them have come out of it ultimately. Or do we think that
No,
this...
nobody's come out, or at least those who've come out of
No.
it became.
That's true. What about what of all the people? So we had people shoved in the lockers, didn't we?
Yeah.
That were on Emerald Road. So were they still? Well, they were still stunned, I assume.
Yantu, in a moment of uncharacteristic contribution, says,
If you're going to be bringing in either the Empire or the Alliance, I would go with the Alliance. I've heard things about the Empire.
Yeah,
If
and
this
they're
was
dealing
dark-
with the Sith.
If this was Dark Force, you don't want the Empire involved. They're only going to use this.
Indeed. I
So we-
suppose we could send a message that we rescued our friends, but that we were unable to help everyone else, though they are currently incapacitated if they are willing to help.
I mean, or we just take as many as we can and get them on board of the big Lice Grand ship.
The other.
X4 says, "This sounds like a rich person's problem. You could always tell Natar."
Oh yeah.
Who's Natar? Sorry, remind me.
It's the guy that we
The Vault Dweller.
the Vault Dweller that we struck a deal with and did a thing for.
Yeah, the guy who sent us to the casino where we got all our money.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess call him and see if he can send some rescue vehicles.
Well, but what are we rescuing them from? Like, we don't have a cure for this.
You don't get it, JT. He is helping them, and by helping them, they will owe him.
But he can't help them.
Well, that's what we're gonna figure a way out to help them.
So why move them? Is my
Because
point.
if we move them, we can put them in controlled environments where they're not killing each other.
They're all asleep now. I assume, again, I'm making the assumption that what we've done is going to last for at least a few days, which is the worst case scenario. Or is it only
You've probably got about 12 hours before these guys start waking
Yeah, so
up.
if we only have a limited
And-
amount of time when they're asleep, so we need to get them into an environment where they can be isolated from each other and not tear each other apart.
And how long until? How long do we think is the nearest? Is help away? We want to call someone in.
We've got more shackles than they have people.
Yeah, so if we can shackle the few people that are left, like, go around, get them, have the thing go through, have it settle down, go in, shackle them, and put them on the ship, the big ship, where we are able to put them in isolated cells as well.
Maybe not isolated cells, because his ship wasn't that large.
But yeah, we
Easy.
could.
At the very least, far away enough from each other that they won't be touching.
Giza, could you estimate how much time Lias Gran has before we need to get him something?
I could stabilize him indefinitely, but he would need a treatment in order to come out of the coma.
We need to procure a cure as soon as possible.
We
So
need to
call
get
somebody.
back to Ixo with as many specimens as possible so he can devise one.
If you care about people on the cube, we can shackle them, bring them on Lias' ship, and bring them back to Ixo. We're bringing a lot of strangers back to Ixo. Otherwise, if we're shot for time, we could just grab Gran's people. Otherwise, we just leave. I think those are our three options.
Yeah.
I want to save as many as possible.
If help is less than 12 hours away, we can make it someone else's problem.
Yes, that's a good point. Sorry, I ignored help because I assumed it would be too far away.
Yeah.
Again, I guess astrogation. Can we get an estimate of where we think the nearest? I know we were like three days back to the Sprawl, but obviously Sprawl is sectors away. Or, you know.
Yeah.
X4.
So, yeah, go on.
That entirely depends because we are close to, what is it? Vega. No, not Vega.
Neither me nor Chevron knows anything about astrogation, so
Yeah.
you know,
And I don't think
like
Victoria does either.
No, this is Felicia. I'm
But
just
X4, yes,
thinking
X4
about
right,
what bases are close at this point of the Star Wars canon.
Oh yeah, we don't know that
so,
though.
never
X4
mind that
is
because you
the-
probably know more than the DM does. What I will
Okay.
tell you is that in terms of allies, unless you reach out to maybe the Alliance or to the corporations or think of somebody else that you can call on to help you evacuate these people and catch up with you, it's either you, who is now, in all fairness, 4 pit droids, the 1, 2, 3 of yourself, an astromech, a super battle droid, and if you could press them into service, Mary Allen and the
Mary Ellen.
Jordan was just saying it's Mary Allen now. And even the Nemoidian, albeit hampered slightly by her arm problem, you've got a few people who can help. Unfortunately, Katari is in a chemical coma along with Gran at the moment.
That's fine.
But you have got a team that should be able to bring back quite a few people if you wish. It's up to you. Obviously, I have mapped out, I've got like a little mind map here of the different decisions that you can make. But this is, as I put in the chat, a deliberate moral crisis challenge. You can't roll dice on this shit. There may be some rolls involved in your execution, but what are you going to do?
JT's vote is to get Gran's people off and leave the rest. JT doesn't care.
Honestly, Victoria is similar. She won't really care about it.
Nima's vote is getting as many people as possible off the ship and will chastise Victoria.
Yeah.
See you later, Hermit. Yes, and thanks again for the subscription. The X4's vote, which he's giving, whether you're letting him have it or not, is that he doesn't really care about certain people on there because he doesn't know them, but he would like whatever they do to be optimized. He will want to make sure that whatever method you use, it is optimized. Geyser, once again,
Also,
doesn't
I
care
like-
if they have a vote or not. They turn around and say, obviously it's within my programming to save as much life as I can. However, I am programmed for private medical healthcare, which means that I am willing to work within the parameters that I am given.
Yes,
Chevron?
there's also the issue of the droid. We should save him. He's helped.
Well, yeah.
What, Bishop?
No,
Oh,
the other
R3.
one.
R3's fine.
Chevron is basically thinking one who should we call for help, basically, because I think we should get Lars. We should get back to the Sprawl as quickly as possible to get an antidote for whatever this is fixed. Someone else can babysit the rest of the people in the cube for a while.
Well, the thing is, there's not going to take that much time to get him out in there, so
But
we
to what
have so
end?
many people to help.
They're stuck. They'll either be sat on the cube or they'll be sat on another ship. Still.
Yeah, but if they're
awake
on
and
the
wild.
cube, they're going to be killing each other.
But not for another 12 hours.
Yes, but we're not going to be able to get
11
here.
hours and 55 minutes.
Yeah, but it took us 3 days to get here.
Yeah, so we won't be
we are
able to
going a
get
long
back
way.
in here, and they're going to be starting to killing each other again. So we need to
The
get them.
Corporation, the Alliance could be here in 12 hours flat. We can tell them exactly what they need to keep a lid on this situation.
If you think they are here, but I really want. We can solve this
Corporation
right
won't
now. I don't
close
understand why we don't
enough to
just don't.
this.
Chevron, you're going in a direction where I will now allow a roll. Give me. I want a cunning-based roll, and
That sounds
I'm
funny.
going to go with.
I have a cunning plan. Anyway.
It is the cunning plan roll. I'm going to go with streetwise. You'll see why if you pass.
Okie dokie.
We're supposed to
Boop, boop, boop.
conflict
Kill
should
diff.
have some bases on Yavin, even if they're
Uh,
abandoned.
Because of the previous actions that you've done during this mission, it's reduced to 2.
Right. There we go.
Sure. Suddenly you look over at the pile of chipped off glue and realize you have the sole owner of one of the biggest shipping companies in the galaxy. Biggest independent shipping companies in the galaxy on your ship. You're pretty sure that all it would take was a quick video of the fact that you have him in the medibay and that you're ordering them in his name to come and ship these guys away, that you would have a small army of workers with you any second.
Do you tell us
There we go.
this?
Yeah, indeed. So there we go, Neil. If we're willing to blow our favour, then we can get everyone in the cube looked after until we can get a cure fixed.
Yes. Yes.
Now, JT, there's a swoop your name on it waiting for us back there.
Oh, I thought that was a given.
Good
Okay.
man.
So X4 manages to find a transponder that has that is registered to the company of Shikapol Bess, and the company isn't named after him. Really should give it a company name. And
Oh well.
hails them, and suddenly you get over the comm go. Okay. I'll obey the dice roll. A gun.
Oh,
You used to
Gloria.
call us.
yes, I have,
Dear.
we have a situation, let's say, regarding your employer.
Mr. Employee on board.
Your employer's employer.
Kind
The
of
big boss.
narrows his eyes, and I presume you show.
Indeed. Over the shoulder. Anyway, yeah.
Are you using your new shiny projector?
His ears go up in a look of shock and goes, Mr. Bess. Mr. Be right back. And runs away, leaving the comlink on. And there's some stressful conversation and being pushed back by a pair of arms that you're not quite sure. They're the light purple arms, and says, "Get the coordinates." the Gungan comes back and goes, we succumb to you. Where used to be?
I will again. We will transmit the coordinates for the cube, and tell them that they will need to carry out some containment operations, and they'll need to bring potentially some tranquilizers, etc., in order to keep the problem at bay, and that medical assistance will be coming in short order, as in hopefully within days to a week.
Geyser guides the conversation, points out that we will be supplying some slap cuffs, a whole crate of them, and that the staff need to come in with rebreathers. At which point the Gungan says, "We still got rebreathers. We still got spacesuits." And is looking quite stressed. This isn't a comedic character, despite the fact I'm using Gungan speech. This is a little out of their experience range, but you can see that now that they're kind of focusing on it. It's like, we still can do this.
I get it. Hashtag not all Gungans, man.
Not all Gungans.
They're not all Jar Jar.
This is a Gungan captain, man.
Do we have a few moments? Because I need to tell chat about the glory that is Jar Jar Binks' father.
Maybe later, once we've ended the session,
Maybe
you can tell
later,
chat
that
about.
sounds like a big interruption to the flow.
You mean Brian Blessed, right?
We will
Brian
try to get it in at the end. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't see the person who's behind the screen. You only ever get to see the Gungan. And the Gungan goes, "Oh, we still got people. We still got the spacesuits. You still got the shackles." At which point you can hear a female voice off screen go, "Ditch the cargo." What? We still not got to ditch the cargo? At which point you can hear a beep 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 beep.
It's now ditched.
The Gungan suddenly goes pale as you can hear that a general cargo jettison has just happened on the ship. And off screen you can hear, "We will have space. Where do you need us to take it?"
For now, just contain the issue. You'll need to keep these people sedated until you're provided with the information of the cure, which we are in the process of manufacturing.
Yeah, any place you would find secure, and just give us the coordinates.
And you're sure that Mr. Best gave you this plan?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Chevron, give me a deception check. Hang on, let me just get the... this is against discipline, so it's 1 red, 1 purple.
Okay.
I'm helping, so whatever.
How many ranks in
and the
deception
diff
have you
is
got?
not for the Gungan.
So this is, would you say red and the purple, yeah?
Red and purple for the faceless voice off screen.
It's cunning, which I have 3 green and 1 yellow.
Same as me, so I get blue then, is that right?
You get blue.
Cool, and also I get there's also, I've got a thing, so red and the purple, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
There's more. You're a
But wait, there's
gambler.
more. I am allowed to re-roll 1 charm or deception check per session. So I think that's getting done now.
Yeah, I got that talent, but for a brawl /
Better.
melee.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Executed.
You realize that it needs a little bit extra, and you at the end of your what to you is a blatant lie, you grit your teeth as if you're very angry and start looking like a hard-nosed businessman, at which point you can see that the ears on the Gungan flop down perfectly flat in a kind of submissive gesture. The Gungan looks off screen, and a reaction to what you think is maybe a nodded head goes, "We shall be with you."
Slap cuffs in base 7. Speak to R3A2.
R3A2, we shall understand. And you've got a crew of haulers coming at you.
So I guess before we do that, we will leave their boss behind on the cube. I assume he's had enough medical attention
No, Geyser
now?
says that he has to come with.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
We are bringing him.
That's fine. Cool.
Yeah.
We're also. Are we getting Gran's retinue, the ones we can find?
Yes.
No, definitely not everyone else. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone-
We'll. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit, largely because it's not that interesting. When you go back onto the ship,
And
sorry,
I
onto
was
the
knocked
cube,
out.
with rebreathers, or in the case of JT, just walking around, you can see that most of Gran's retinue have died. You can see that they were all wielding weapons, had battle scars they didn't die from. Looks like they gave as good as they got. You do find cowering in one of the nearby apartments 2 of Gran's backing dancers, but dancer singers, and they are a Sakian, a quite attractive young male Sakian, and a female Zabrak. So I'll just bring this up very quickly. So that's a Sakian, and
Did user ask about a Zabrak? Was it a Zabrak? Somebody asked about getting
Deveronian.
Deveronian, that was it.
Yeah.
If we've got time, I will see if we can find a Deveronian.
Yeah, picking through the unconscious bodies, there is a Deveronian on board. He's got 2 large fire axes covered in blood and gore, and he seems to have got a small collection of heads next to him. He had quite a raucous time.
Well, luckily I have the extra special super strong magna cuffs, so let's grab him on the way.
Sure.
I think we're also putting him on the trank ship.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Into the hot box, and yeah, you've got 2 dancers, and I'm gonna. Yeah. So you go down to the. Again, I'm going to go fairly fast with this because it wraps it up to a certain extent and gets to the next bit of role playing, and that is you go down to the shopping part. And what is in front of you, Chevron, is an absolute crime against nature. Apparently, during the fighting, some sort of fire broke out, trashing most of the shops there. However, thanks to the fact it was in the middle of the vestibule, the swoop is still available. Ordinarily, just looking at the fire and the desolation that eventually got taken out by R3A2, just cutting off oxygen to the space, which means everybody on this floor's dead. The fire has gone out. The buildings are smouldering, and thankfully, the swoop, other than having a little bit of blistered paint here and there, is still salvageable. You wouldn't have thought to go in here looking at the desolation, but seeing as the vehicle was scoped out in the first place and it was in a good position, yeah, you can recover the vehicle, but nothing else.
I was half convinced it was going to be gone by the time we got back.
Devin just has the ashes in his hands. Why?
Nothing. Bye.
Charred remains of an iPhone in one hand.
Yeah.
No, when I rolled the D6 before, I was like, okay, what's going to survive? D6? Ah, that's vehicle. Okay. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So you've got a sports swoop, formerly belonging to the late, oh god, what's his name again?
Todd Reckett.
Todd Reckett.
Todd Reckett.
Yes, you have limited edition, in that they're not going to be painting anymore with his colors, a limited edition Todd Reckett swoop with a pyrotechnic launcher just in front of the handlebars, and a bleeding edge afterburner. And
I assume the keys were in his jacket.
No, the keys were in the thing itself.
Ah.
Somebody somehow managed to get the keys.
I will be taking that.
Yep. It purrs.
I'll try not to drive this one into a tree.
Yep. So yeah, you have a souped up Starhawk.
Yep. Just
Um,
needs a new paint job.
yeah, just where it's blistered a bit. Most of the paint job's fine.
Except the sponsor logos. Those are ugly as fuck.
Well,
Assuming-
it's a collector's edition at the moment, but it's also recognizable. So, well, little column A, little column B.
Assuming we're gonna jet off soon, I suppose the question we need to ask ourselves though is, knowing now that this is tainted with the emerald road in hand, do we want to give it to Ixo or not? We have enough samples surely for
Well,
him.
that was the next thing I was going to say. I would like you guys to make a decision on what you're going to do next. We might have some little bit of role playing that we need to wrap up with, but what are you going to do? Who and what are you taking where?
It seems like it might be useful to him to produce a
Yeah,
cure.
it's about synthesizing the cure. Having the original drug is really useful. But I don't really want to give him something that is like brimming by.
Character with no morals and already dealing in drugs that change the bio.
And it's
Awful.
brimming with the dark side of the force. Oh, I don't. Oh.
Do you think Ixo would be able to do it with this many specimens? I assume we're doing this on the way back. We're doing it like ship to
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is montagey kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But swipe swoop to where we're on the ship going away.
Yes, there we are, diagonal wipe.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I think he probably has a better chance with it, to be honest. But
He
what are
does.
but I mean, Nima, what do you think? I don't really know the risks of this sort of thing. Just casually holding this horrifying dark side artifact. Wow. I know there's been tons of this stuff in manufactured, but still.
Yeah.
And
The
it doesn't matter. And Paul suddenly realizes, I wonder how much of that stuff we left back on the station. Whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You during your walkabout, you didn't find any more.
Because the guys who were rampaging
Taking it
has
all, yeah.
probably already taken it.
Maybe so. Who knows?
We did promise Ixo, and we don't want to shit in our own backyard.
yeah.
Good point. He
That
was
is
so
true.
keen to get his hands on it. But then he won't
And
be.
besides, if we give it to him, he'll be in our deck.
Remind me, Simon. Was it Ixo? Was he force sensitive? Did he talk about the force and
No.
saying the force should be with us?
No, he seems educated, so I'm sure you're sure he's heard of the Force,
Okay.
and probably knows more than the average person, just due to the level of education and power that he has. But you have nothing to suggest in your history with him that he is in any way Force sensitive.
I want to talk to guy Jedi who we know, half Jedi,
Carl Renford.
Carl Renford. I want to talk to Carl Renford, so I will call him up.
Very quickly, about a day in, you get told that you get told by the ship piloted by the Gungan, the captain by the Gungan, that they have taken all living people on board, and now their ship is effectively a prison ship.
Yep.
And they're giving what medical attention they can, but people have woken up and have continued to be violent. Thankfully, they're shackled up. They're not listening to reason, and they want to know whether or not you have a place to drop them off, or do they have to take them to the authorities. They're a little worried about staying where they are because they're so close to the Alliance and Empire war at the moment.
I was going to suggest we have them kind of at the intersection of corporate space, hut space, and the sprawl.
Sure, you can just give them a holding point, at which point the response is, Misa, so relieved. Misa, think we be safe there. Thank you. The Gungan now is back to being a captain. It's about cargo and safety and shipping lanes, all the stuff that this guy can rock. And he's there saying, Misa, see you there.
Oh, you have supplies. How long can you stay there?
Misa can call for supplies. Misa part of a big company. And with actually quite a charismatic smile now that he's not caught flat-footed, the Gungan says, You're so good, crowd. And gets into the captain's chair. You can see that the from the view that you can see, there's two kind of pilots that are just off to the side, but you can't quite see them. And goes, "We shall see you." And says, "Wayfarer out."
Yes.
And so that's all you need to do for that. You know that you have access to them, so they're brought as near as damn it to the Sprawl. So the next thing is you're coming towards the Sprawl, and you get a.
Am I not able to call Renford first?
The end of the sentence was you get a response to your call from Carl Renford.
Yeah.
So he says, "This is supposed to be a secure line. I hope it's important."
It is very important. We got a call a few days ago to from the Cube. People in the Cube had taken this drug and had gone completely stir crazy. It was some kind of mutagen. We have saved the people on the Cube, but the thing is, the drug they've taken is filled with the dark side of the Force and was given to them originally by a Sith.
Sith cultist.
The Sith cultist.
You can see that there's a kind of faraway stare momentarily from Kyle as he goes, "This was not the action of the Empire. Otherwise, Commander Organa would have told me." I see.
It's from a cult,
yes.
I think.
This is important. I think this is probably related to the other Sith interest in our particular arm of the galaxy. Okay. You're heading back to the Sprawl, I presume?
Yes. My big concern was this drug, they call it Emerald Road. It's kind of a drug myth, so they called it Emerald Road. It is... they've been under the influence in it, and we need to try and find a cure. We've asked... Before we went, Ixo helped us and said in exchange for that he wanted to synthesize a cure. But the question is, do we give him a sample of this drug, which is potentially very, very dangerous, or do we say that we didn't find any?
I don't like Ixo as a person, but I trust in the checks and balances that the other bosses have placed around him. Give him the drug.
Okay. If Nala thinks that's the best action as well as you, then I feel more confident with it.
Even if he did want to do something with it, he will never be able to escape being under the gaze of the other bosses. It's a measured risk. Give him the drug.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's the main thing about the drug. And oh yes, I found a bowl that it's nothing important. We can talk about it later.
That sounds like something for another time.
Yes.
Until then, tell your friends they've done us a great service. And by us, I mean everybody, not just the Force Underground.
Thank you so much.
May the Force be with you all.
May the Force be with you.
Renford out. And the thing, the screen very abruptly switches off.
Everybody could hear that if they wanted, but I will relay what he said and say, I will say to Chevron that I made up my mind and I think we should give the drug, because Chevron said that he felt it was important to give it to him, and I said because of the checks and essentially just repeat what.
Checks and balances.
Yeah.
It's good to keep our end.
Basically, even if he was going to do something hinky with it, the other bosses would come down on him like a ton of bricks. You have a feeling that there's a very symbiotic balance between the bosses of, yeah, you're slightly fucked up and mad scientist, but if you do anything, we will come. The rest of us will kind of all go on you. You think it's the same with the warlike boss. The smuggler boss, everybody's kind of held in place by a tether.
Shall we? You mentioned the bowl. And you mentioned something about dark force control. Should we bring the bowl onto the ship with all the people with this dark force control to try and block it?
Yes. We'll see if that works. It doesn't really block the force much. It, like, mutes your detection, being able to detect the force. It rather than, like, mutes the force around. Is that correct, Simon?
You can't detect the force signature of anything near it to around about, I'd say it's medium distance in every direction. Yay for distance bands. I don't have to decide how many meters.
But even so, you said itself, the bowl is a dark side artifact.
I think it's just a force artifact.
Yeah, it's just a force artifact. It's not particularly dark side or...
It was made by the Sith, but if a Sith makes a spanner, it's a spanner.
It's an evil spanner.
Yeah, evil spanner.
Black and twisted. No. If you think it'd be abuse.
I don't think so, but we don't necessarily need to tell him what it is either. We can just, like, put it there and it's just a bowl. But we'll take it around them and see if it does anything. I don't necessarily think it will do, but we can try on... Well, we don't have any crazy... Did we bring any crazy people on our ones? Well, we got Lias. And
We brought a Deveronian.
yeah, the Deveronian, yeah.
You've got a Deveronian, a Chevan, and a Doug,
Yeah.
who have all taken Emerald Road.
Yeah,
And samples from
yeah. So
everything.
we can bring it on and see if it does anything.
It's got an image of JT walking around with like the big sample gun for it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, but the plan is basically then, so
I
we're going
am
to...
sure Boss Ixo will be delighted in JT's enthusiasm and detail-oriented mindset.
We're going to bring the bowl with us, go visit Ixo, and offer him basically all the samples, the Emerald Road, and access to some of the junkies as well. Like the ones we don't care about
throw
so
the
much.
Deveronian at him. He wanted one.
Sure, there we go. Lovely.
Okay, so I want to know, in which order are you doing what you've just stated?
I think the order I said, get the bowl, bring it onto the Lakota, and it's a bit too big to just port around inconspicuously, though, isn't it?
It's about the size of Captain America's shield, so it's
it's not like a subtle
it's a
thing.
fair thing. You can't hide it. Put it that way.
No, but I can...
But it's a decorative bowl in our...
Yeah, it's just a bowl that
Breakfast
me and
room.
Victoria
But-
keep in our bedroom.
We're just going to bring it
Yeah.
onto the Lakota, and also we're not going to going to the
let's
super
do that
double
first.
secret asteroid with. We're going to go.
Let's do that first.
someone
Let's
will
lock
go
that
get
in.
it. Okay, so
You bring the bowl onto the Lakota, presumably with the intention of putting it near those who are being exposed. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. When you take the bowl near there, you can see that there is a kind of convulsing from the people who have taken Emerald Road, and it's kind of like a shiver of relief, though, rather than a thrashing about, which you've seen plenty of in the last couple of days. And pooling in the bottom of the bowl seems to be a strange fluid-like energy source, almost like a cross between a liquid and a mist. A liquid and a vapor. It stays at the bottom of the bowl, and if you move the bowl from side to side, it still seems to remain in the bottom of the bowl, cooling. No roll required. Nima, there's a extremely powerful sense of dark force in the bottom of this bowl, and yet you still can't feel anything outside of the bowl to a range of medium. You definitely don't want to put your hand in this, and you, with every fiber of your being, you don't want anybody to put their hand in this.
Okay.
You know, like in the Matrix where the guy touches the mirror.
You have a feeling that this can be destroyed, though, Nima. as a substance.
Yeah. I was gonna say, pew pew, no.
Splashy, splashy!
Yeah, bad idea.
I kind of want to touch it.
Don't touch it, JT. But you're not
Right.
organic, so I don't know. What's the
Yeah.
frost
You're
do
a
to droids?
Let's do an experiment.
I don't want
Buy
to
a
know
cheap
what
droid.
happens if a droid turns evil.
That's why we buy another pit droid.
Yeah, just dip the droid.
Oh, what happened to droids' rights, JT? My word.
We're not
We
family.
have Lefty.
Lefty.
Remember the droid that I cut off the arm and the R2
The loading
reprogram?
droid.
Oh yeah, you were
Yes, the one-armed
cryo
loading
sleeping.
droid that's just wandering around now.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm sure you fitted him with another droid,
X-Ford
with another arm.
put his arm back.
Yeah, that,
Okay,
you have a
but he's
loading
still
droid in your
lefty.
landing bay.
They're not family. I'd be happy to do that.
I will put my mind together with Geyser and X4, the smart brain people, of how we could get rid of this liquid, and I will also use my force knowledge.
The general consensus is fire.
Okay. Fire, guys! You flamethrower. You have a flamethrower, don't you?
You have a flamethrower on your gun.
I do.
Do we
I,
want to do
I,
this
I
now
think
or
that would
before?
probably be in the scene. It's like, does anyone have a flamethrower? They all look at you and you go, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as you start to burn it, it burns with this pooled red, weirdly moving non-liquid that just doesn't seem to move quite right. Starts to burn with a purple flame, and you feel, Nima, a sense of catharsis. It like it's clearing the air almost literally.
I mean, it did something.
The flame burns until the bowl is empty.
Yeah. I definitely think, well, when we've got these people to the other guy, I also think I should go on the other ship, and I have a feeling the bowl is gonna fill more on that ship.
Well, the question
I'll
is,
pick it up.
are our
Because it's
patients,
not like you can carry it.
are our patients recovered to some extent now? Then
Yes.
You can see that they are less agitated. Their breathing seems to be less labored. They still have the problems of the mutagenesis, but other than that, they seem to be doing better. And Geyser says, this is the best that I have seen them do in a long while.
It's doing something.
Well,
I'll connect my droid voice for next time.
So we shall pre-treat them with the bowl before we give whatever Ixo's synthesized.
Yes, I think
Yes.
that's a good idea. Because that I think this is fixing the imbalance in force that's going around.
And Ixo shouldn't know about the bowl.
Yeah.
no.
indeed. Well, I suggest we take our
No
Deborah
one knows
friend
about
here.
the bowl. There is no bowl. This is just a decoration.
Yeah, it's me and Victoria's wedding bowl.
Yes.
That's it, then.
Don't question the space Viking.
It's a good line.
Ceremonial wedding bowl. You know,
For
but
ceremonial purposes, you just need to
We
carry
spilled
it
the blood of
around.
a traffic warden together in this bowl. Okay,
It's not
so-
worse than the kidnapping of the bride on the eve of your wedding,
oh yeah.
while outrunning the entire male part of the family.
Oh, I
trying
think
to
that's
kill
a
you.
Viking thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure. You've done that to the people on the ship. So next you're going to Ixo. Is that the next step?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the time you get there, Kyle has contacted Nala, and she is actually waiting in the loading bay with Ixo when you arrive.
Yeah. Cool.
Good.
Very clean, uniformed employees of Ixo rush in with hover gurneys and take the people off the ship. the gurneys have little kind of like plastic lids on top of them for contamination control, and they take them through processing into Ixo's facility. You can see that there are some of Nala's enforcers and some people you don't recognize that you presume are representatives of the other bosses.
Yeah.
And just as an interesting touch, I'd like to try and hand Ixo the sample of Emerald Road personally.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Offer it out to him in hand. And the sample you asked for.
The Grand takes it off you and says, "Yes, from what you've already told us, and what I've been told by Nala, this is more poison than drug.
Yeah.
It looks like this was some form of malicious attack. There are things that we may learn from this, but mostly only as a prevention. A shame. I thought there would be some productive use of this. It looks like Emerald Road will remain a myth." There's a kind of gritting of teeth as he says the last part.
Yes.
I am, however, interested in the mutagenesis. It is somewhat of a hobby of mine. We shall have to see. I'll be able to... He glares at you.
Well, we got the Deveronian you asked for.
He breaks off the glare in Nima's direction and says, "Fantastic. Deveronians have a very particular biochemistry. They're very useful for mapping certain mutagenic cycles. I'll do what I can for the people who are here. And I've been told you have a VIP amongst them. 2, in fact."
Well, indeed, we'd like to leave these two to receive special care. I think it's one is a friend of mine, let's say. The other, I'd like to owe me a favor.
They will always receive the optimum amount of care, such as the type of facility that I run. But yes, I can see that. I dare say that there will be 2 favors to the Sprawl as a whole. He says it very pointedly over in Nala's direction, as if she fed him the line hours ago. For our intervention and our care.
We also have more people who will be needing the cure. We could not fit everyone on our ship, so we managed to secure another one.
Nala steps forward and with her grinning feline features goes,
"I will arrange to have pilots sent out with guide ships to bring them through the Sprawl. These people can be under the care of the bosses whilst they're here. Guests, as it should be. I think Bess and his empire, well, that's a dirty word these days, his network, his business, will start having greater relations with the Sprawl and the bosses as a whole. I think that we've grown in reputation for the work that you've done recently for us. Well done, everybody. I don't know what you're going to get out of this, but your standing here is, well, approaching fast the level of us bosses themselves. Your names are known here, but known favorably. Know that you all have the protection, not just of myself, but of all the bosses."
Ixo turns and says, "Indeed. I consider you all allies. You've shown yourself to be very capable operatives. This is useful for the Sprawl as a whole. There's a great disturbance in the political landscape of the core systems. Alliance and Empire, huts choosing a side. At the moment, corporations playing both sides as they always have done. Other areas changing with the wind or being conquered and consumed. We shall need to be a presence that is not worth the effort of messing with. I have a feeling that there is no way of staying off the radar. Maybe some of my research could help us.
but I fear much of it will be simply for academic interest only, or at least a cautionary tale. I must admit, I have never seen such a virulent and aggressive mutagen. I shall have to study this carefully. I dare say it is too sporadic for any architectural use. Thank you again. As you guys intercept the ship, one of Bess's crew, you dock with the ship and get greeted very warmly by the Gungan captain. The other figure, authoritative though they may be, is no longer available. And you do not see anybody else apart from workers. Everybody saluting the captain. Everybody with a sense of purpose that they didn't have before as they're looking after these sick and aggressive people. You notice that they are checking and double checking everything. Everybody is armed. Everybody's keeping their spacesuits on. You notice they're carrying sprays with them that seem to have some sort of knockout gas that they've acquired along the route. And you systematically go along with the bowl.
Yeah.
It starts to pool with this strange supercritical fluid, I'll call it. And
does it fill up more because there's more people around? And...
Yes.
Yeah.
In some of the rooms, it fills up tremendously. You blaze it off, and you start to see that the aggression starts to subside. You can see that many of them go from aggression to being consumed by pain, as many of them have very painful mutations.
Yeah.
You do this kind of pushing everybody away, doing it in private in each of the large cargo bays. This is basically a ship, and like a bunch of grapes, there are cargo bays along its length. And with each one, the bowl starts filling, you start burning it away. The bowl at the end, every time, ends up completely pristine, and nothing in the bottom of it. The flame guttering out to the size of a match towards the end. And when you finish the last of the afflicted, only Nima, you get a sudden glimpse in the corner of her eye. When you turn, no one's there, but you could have sworn it was the faint blue outline of two figures. You send the people back to Ixo, and a few weeks pass, and you get invited to Nala's Warren, whereupon you see a walking with a walking stick, but seeming pretty spry about it, the Chevan, and sat next to Nala on a sofa, howling with laughter, a little bit drunk, is Lia's Gran, howling with laughter as Nala seems to be conveying maybe a story, an anecdote to him, and you hear the laughter before you get in the room. It's this huge bellowing laughter that comes from Lia's Gran. As you step into the room, Gran turns around and goes, and I appreciate Gran is the name of a race and it's also the surname of Lias. Lias turns around and says, "Hey, my favorite people."
Feeling better.
Ah, yes, top of the world, top of the world. He jumps off the table, switching to his two larger arms, runs up to Chevron, and jumping, kind of hops on one arm whilst putting the other arm across Chevron's shoulders, and he goes, "Mashev!"
And my man.
With his two smaller arms, he's gesturing in his general direction and says, "Nala, you look after this one. He's my boy. Anything he wants, you come to me. Yeah, he's short of anything, you come to me." At which Nala says, "Him short of anything? He's almost as rich as I am."
I get by.
And the Chevan turns round and with this large crocodilian mouth says, "But not quite as rich as me. I've never heard of you before I woke up on that station. And now it seems I'm in your debt. I also have a captain to promote. I don't know what's useful to you all. I tried to find out where you lived. Everyone on the station says they don't know. I think some of them are lying. You got your own business. You stay off the radar. I get it. I can't. I'm everywhere. You see my symbol on the ship? I'm there. You see it on a building? I'm there. Where I am? Well, is it me or me the company? Me the company can help you. Me the person, well, I'm getting on in age. Now I've got stuck with this thing. And he kind of grasps the walking stick as if he hates it. And then very quickly has to use it again as he stumbles a bit. You can tell his legs, though the swelling has gone down, it's weakened him. He's got a hobble now.
You ask where... Sorry.
I don't know if you've got anything in mind right now, but I'm in your debt. Or maybe this could be the start of a beautiful friendship.
I mean, at the moment, I think the first thing looking is for friendship. Is that right, Chevron?
Indeed. You ask where my home is. My home is the Sprawl. Anything you can do to assist Nala and the other bosses helps me in the long run. But I suppose I won't begrudge you holding us in your personal regard.
I do have one question, though.
Sure.
How much sway do you hold with the Bounty Hunters Guild?
Ooh, good idea.
I have been known to patronize them from time to time.
I'm just going to basically flick whatever details of our bounties to his... They're a little inconvenient.
Consider them gone.
Thank
Tucks
you.
the chit away and gives you a nod. And that is, he will get rid of all current bounties that are on you.
Can he get rid of the Sith one?
Bounty hunter's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, it just came out with the Bounty Guild.
Unless you're being pursued by an actual Sith, he wouldn't be able to do anything about that. But the Sith have hired basically a PI to find out who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
I hope we can have this and the start of a beautiful relationship.
You saved my life, I'll save yours. We'll consider the rest to be that we both put friendship on the table. How does that sound?
Sounds very good.
Sounds
like
good
having
to
friends.
me. So do I. For all the money that I have, my friends are infinitely more useful. Money doesn't defeat the Empire or keep the Hutts off your back. Contacts, people of talent, that keeps people off your back. The Sprawl seems to be a place I've overlooked. I thought it a shitty rat-infested area.
That's rather the point.
Maybe, but it appears to have a bit of talent going on as well. Who knows, a few of my freighters might lose themselves in this asteroid field from time to time, Who knows, they might lose some stock, may pick up a little salvage, who knows, yeah?
Exactly.
I'm sure it can all be registered with the correct paperwork, right?
Sounds very good.
Indeed.
Sounds good to me. Nala here, she's a shrewd one. Not sure about that other guy, but he's got good medical insurance. As for the rest, I've had some conversations that I'm sure I'll have to go a little deeper under the surface. But I like who I see here. And I like what you did for us. Lias here has given me the rundown on who you are, what you are, how you work. I like it. Free spirits, free agents. I can work with free agents. Works for me. No ties. Couldn't contact you. or couldn't find out where you came from. Sure. I like that. Point is, you're not gonna start turning on me for some fool crusade. We talk about fair dealings with each other. Above board, honest, yeah? My word is my bond. It's how I gain the structure around me. Told you, better than money. You play fair with me, I play fair with you. You lie to me, you're not my friend. We good?
We understand the importance of reputation.
Yes.
Good. Let's keep good reputation with each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, kid. Now, if you don't mind, I need to take a holiday to get over my holiday.
Yeah, haha.
You want to lift
Well.
back, Laz? At which point, Laz turns around and goes, "Nah, I'm gonna chill with my boys here. I'll find some tub to take me off here. Besides, I gotta get myself new roadies, new manager. I'll have to delay a few tours, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna stay around here with my boys." And when he says "my boys," he's looking in your direction, Sharon.
Oh.
Well, if you run into trouble, you know who you can contact.
There's general nodding and agreement, and the Chevin starts walking, or hobbling, over to the exit to Nala's Hall, which this is where this is all taking place. And you can see that the Gungan captain is waiting with an impossibly straight back. You have a feeling they're going to slip a disc if they're not careful. And standing to attention
trying.
in a uniform as Bess walks up to them. And as Bess kind of comes up to them, the Gungan kind of looks over in your direction and kind of gives you a curt nod as if to say thank you. And as Bess goes out of your earshot, you can hear him say, "Right, you, let's talk promotion." And they walk out of this story for now. And we've gone a little bit over. Any details that you guys would like to wrap up before you start your next mission?
Nima's just gonna try to meet Carl Ranford again and talk through everything that happened, and also the thing that happened with the ball as she did as well. But that can probably wait for next session because it's Ball
That
did this.
is probably a flashback.
Yeah.
I'd definitely like to take Liars aside and be like, Liars, if you're not, seeing as you're going to be at a loose end for a little while, let me tell you about a vision of mine. Love shares.
Yep, you guys watch as going off to find a decent bar, of which there aren't many in the Sprawl. There are bars, but not decent bars. Liars and Chevron start talking to each other and conspiring. Having a shared vision.
I could really imagine the Star Wars ending music over that line. That line finishes in better.
Definitely. It's a good place to finish, but with some preamble for the next mission.
Ooh.
Kyle says, "I'm on my way." And that is it. That is the end of High Alert. Well done. You guys got through quite a few bits where it was like, oh, there's no rolling out of this. You guys got to make decisions. The one thing that defeats all role players, decisions where they don't get to roll and just pass. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to put a pin in the Jar Jar Binks dad story, Felicia. But
No, I need to tell it while I still remember.
You can write it in Discord.
I was about to say, this is a good fishhook for the Discord. Put it in the Discord, and for
it's
those of you
not
who are
that
watching
good.
who aren't part of our Discord, please check out the stream info below.
But basically, the only question I have is he basically a badass Gungan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
There
you go. If you want to hear
He's
the
a
story
badass Gungan. But can you guess what the man who named his son Jar Jar is named?
Oh God.
Barbar.
George.
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 Really, his
That's
name is
it.
George.
George R. Binks.
George
Father
Irving.
Oh, good
George
God.
R. Binks. The man who is a renowned and world famous whaler in a long line of whalers in charge of their own company.
Oh God.
And
So
his son is Jar Jar.
Jar Jar is an idiot son of a billionaire.
Yes.
Oh God.
I mean, Senator
the
George.
best part
Senator
is
Binks,
that
I think, by his
George-
proper title. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Senator
But
Binks, yes.
At one point, Jar Jar was such a disappointment that on a stranded island after Jar Jar made their boat basically shipwreck, George contemplates actually taking his own life with a blaster. But the thought that stops him is that the only thing the world will remember about him is his son.
Oh.
His son is such a disappointment that he can't even kill himself.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's so serious. Okay, apparently it was a shorter story than I thought, so thank you.
Yes, but it is hilarious.
Oh God. George Binks, Jesus.
George R. Binks.
It sounds
George
like
R.
it's coming out of
Binks.
Mary Poppins or something. Oh God. That was George Banks, wasn't it? There we go. So thank you everybody for watching. We're not going to raid tonight, but we will be raiding on Friday. If you enjoyed our particular brand of madness, please follow or click the Discord link below. And our next game at the moment will be at Friday, 8 p.m. UK time till 11 o'clock UK time, and that will be our long-running D&D 5th edition campaign, The Benefactor. However, this Monday coming, off-stream, will be Session 0 of a new pirate adventure that we're going to be doing on Monday nights for 10 sessions, where we introduce Chaotic Neutral to the pirate faction known as the Forsaken. We've done quite a few games with the Shacklemen, which are one of the 7 sails, but we will have a 10-part pirate adventure of another pirate faction from the 7 sails, and that is the Forsaken, those who are seeking retribution, killers, thieves, those who can't forgive themselves for something that has been done in their lives, the most violent of the factions. And I've seen the art of some of the characters already. Thank you, Felicia. It's looking interesting. It will increase. Well, I was about to say, not increase. It will include the exclamation mark loot function and the exclamation mark cannon function, by which you, the viewers, will be the crew. So the players will play the junior officers. The viewers will play the crew. So there will be interactive things that you guys get to do, and keep a pen and paper handy because you will gain things. You will gain things like pet cats. You'll be thrown in the brig. You'll be put in the crow's nest. You may become the spy master and other things. I'm not going to spoil the rest. Those are the stuff that you'll see on the graphics. So
Join us Monday, everyone.
No, not this Monday. The Monday after that. Session 0. Yeah, Session 0 will not be streamed. It's preparing you guys for the stream, and then we'll start Monday after next.
Well, it
And
either
before
be
that,
Monday or
there
Thursday.
is the
whoever.
Friday game of the Benefactor.
Yep.
Where we wrap up our quest to save a complete idiot Duke's son from his own doing.
Also known as a warlock, but yes.
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 Yep.
Idiot fool of a Duke's son.
Yeah, that's going to be good because Breath of the Kraken last session was one of my favorites, and there's been a lot to be favorites of recently, starting interplanar wars and things. It's going to be an interesting one. Anyway, let's wrap up for tonight. Thank you very much for viewing. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this as a VOD, don't be a stranger. Just give us a shout on the Discord and say you've watched it, or just tag us in Twitter. That's games_neutral, or myself at Casca Niobe, or any of the others that you see below. Either way, take care of yourself, and we will see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.